Netanyahu telling his people the only way to bring home the rest of the hostages is through massive military force in Gaza. In a national address, he also expressed outrage over the failure of human rights groups to condemn Hamas for the rape and mutilation of Israeli women.
I expect all civilized leaders, governments, nations to speak up against this atrocity.
An Israeli general describes the fighting today as the most intense since the onset of the military operation. A personal plea from Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky speaking virtually to U.S. senators. Zelensky urging their approval of more support in the war against Russia, but Republicans seem unmoved, insisting on changes to a possible border package before they approve any more aid to Ukraine. Republican Senator Tommy Tuberville says he will no longer block most of the military promotions that he has been delaying for months. Majority Leader Chuck Schumer says he will take action this week.
One thing I would say, Senator Tuberville, I hope no one does this again.
Tuberville has been holding up the promotion in protest of a Pentagon policy ensuring abortion access for service members. And House Speaker Mike Johnson claims the White House is stonewalling the investigation into President Biden's involvement in his son's business dealings. Johnson says the House has no choice but to formally adopt an impeachment inquiry.
This vote is not a vote to impeach President Biden. This is a vote to continue the inquiry of impeachment.
The White House says the president did nothing wrong. Live from the KSL National News Desk, I'm Maria Chaleos, KSL News Radio.
Math scores around the world are dropping, with the U.S. dropping more than other countries. Researchers say 15-year-olds in the U.S. scored below students in the U.K., Australia, and Germany, well below kids in Singapore, South Korea, and even Estonia. American students did score above average internationally on reading and science. KSL News Time 3:05. It's time for First Look Traffic. Happy Tuesday, Ricky.
Happy Tuesday, Jeff. I'm afraid for drivers, it's a bit bumpy out there. We begin our drive home this afternoon with crashes and delays, and just one of them is in Utah County on southbound I-15 as you go from American Fork to Pleasant Grove. This accident has been blocking right lanes of travel. Ricky Meese, the KSL Traffic Center.
We'll explore the joys of marriage coming up. Stay here. My Minute of News is on the way. Next.
Right now might just be the perfect time to upgrade your living space to one that has, well, a little more space. You've earned the equity in your home. It's now time to put it to good use. Whether it's opening up a cramped or dated floor plan, adding a little more luxury to your bath, or finally building the kitchen of your dreams, Golden West Credit Union has a home equity line of credit for a low introductory rate of 5.49% APR fixed for 6 months. With a Golden West Home Equity Credit Line, you'll save money with no fees or closing costs. And Golden West makes accessing the equity in your home easy with a Visa Platinum Card. Start making the most of your equity today and make your plans a reality. Apply at any branch, online at gwcu.org, or on our mobile app. Equal Housing Lender, NMLS number 440574.
We'll take care of you.
Ho, ho, ho! Santa Claus is here! Have you been a really good boy or girl this year? Hold on to your elf! It's the Ultra Mega El Grande Fluffy Holiday Sale at PC Laptops on the best desktop and laptop computers on the planet. The holiday sale has started now so you can avoid crowd anxiety. This is it! We have brand new lifetime warranty desktop computers from $29 a month. You can also save up to 50% off our original prices on open box, scratch and dents, and demo models that still come with a lifetime warranty. That's right, up to 50% off. Holy mackerel! To make it extra sweet, we're doing 0 down, 0 interest until 2025. OAC 2025! So get into any one of our PC Laptops locations right now, or check us out at PCLaptops.com. That's PCLaptops.com, because at PC Laptops, we love you! Ho, ho, ho!
Experience low-maintenance luxury townhome living during Nielsen Home for the Holidays open house December 18th, 5 to 7 p.m. Pictures with Santa and warm churros. 227 North 3830 West Point.
This is My Minute of News, brought to you by Any Hour Services, electrical, plumbing, heating, and air, anyhourservices.com. How's your marriage doing? Hopefully it's filled with wonder as you meander through life married to your best friend, living as lovers and equals, sharing milestones with warm smiles. But if you're not happily married, I'm looking at this study from Israel. and it's not good.
There must be 50 ways to leave your lover.
Not so fast. Hang on here. This study from Israel is a survey among men who claimed they were unhappy in their marriages. 21% of them, 1 out of 5, died of premature death. Now, reflexively, you hear a statistic like that and you think you gotta get out of this rough marriage. We're conditioned to walk away from less than fulfilling situations. Heck, the music industry is sitting on piles and piles of money made from breakup songs. It's true there aren't as many songs about marriage counseling and sticking it out. Well, the late Al Green had one, but he was an actual reverend, so this counts as counseling.
Oh, baby, let's stay together.
If you languish in a relationship that fails to satisfy, and if the grass seems greener on the other side, I don't have any answers. But I do have another research study right here. It says that single men have worse BO than married men. 82 women smelled men's used T-shirts, and the results were definitive. Single men have a stronger odor. Perhaps it's a whiff of desperation. Maybe not. But if your marriage ain't all that, this study shows definitively this song is wrong.
Love stinks. Love stinks.
Guys, love does not stink, but there's definitive proof the absence of love does.
Jeff Kaplan's Minute of News, only on KSL News Radio.
Yep. Traffic and weather together every 10 minutes. We're brought to you by Granite Credit Union's new Dividend Plus checking account. And here's Ricky Meese.
We have a crash blocking right lanes of travel and tying up traffic in Utah County, southbound I-15 near 5th East American Fork. Those right lanes are blocked with the crash, and that is backing traffic back to about Pioneer Crossing. Even once you get past that, you're going to see some heavy and slow traffic as you're approaching Provo. The northbound side of I-15 in Utah County, all clear. Salt Lake County freeways. We had debris earlier across the roadway eastbound on the 21st South Freeway just after Bangerter Highway. Now, it's been mostly cleared, but that right lane is still blocked. Keep an eye out for that. Heavy delays right now southbound Mountain View corridor between 2100 and 3500 South, and then southbound I-15 already a little heavy and slow from Midvale at 7200 to 90th South. Steve?
Northbound 15 looking pretty good. Got full speeds out of downtown Salt Lake and North Salt Lake. Looks like we have a crash off on the left shoulder there at about 6 North. UHP's working that right now. Farther up into Davis County, got slowdowns at Antelope Drive into Clearfield. And northbound Highway 89 really packed in already from SR 193 up to the I-84 Rams. Celebrate your holidays with your family at Eccles Theater, Madden Savannah, a Shaw Family Christmas, Friday and Saturday, December 8th and 9th. Tickets at liveeccles.com. Steve Carlson at the KSL Traffic Center.
High pressure core drifts on by for today. Temperatures bump up into the low 50s with mostly sunny skies. Overnight lows dipping off into the low 30s. Tomorrow, 52, chance for some light haze and mostly sunny skies. Next best chance for some light rain showers is Thursday. From the KSL Weather Center, I'm Matt Johnson.
55 degrees in Salt Lake City, and we have the lineup for the Kilby Block Party. We're going in depth in just a few moments on KSL. Stay with us. We're streaming at home on any smart speaker, and of course in your car. We're at 102.7 FM. This is KSL News Radio, Utah's news, traffic, and weather station. 312. Happy Tuesday afternoon, everybody.
Let's get it crunk up on that fun up in this dancery. We got y'all open, now you're floating, so you got to dance for me. Don't need no hateration, holleration.
Are you currently renting? Stop. Don't settle for renting or buying a townhome when you can build an R5 Flex ADU single-family home and double your investment return while cutting your payment in half by leasing your private basement suite. Visit r5homes.com to learn more about the benefits of a rentable basement suite ADU. You owe it to yourself to visit our Eagle Mountain model and see how you can qualify for a single-family home. Visit r5homes.com for a free qualification quote and gift. r5homes.com.
At Common Spirit Holy Cross Hospitals, we're honored to carry the legacy of our namesake and to extend the legacy of care in our communities. We're part of 20 hospitals and 240 clinics across Colorado, Kansas, and Utah. Learn more at holycrossutah.org.
With our roots in northern Utah, Common Spirit Holy Cross hospitals have a legacy of caring to help every person be whole and healthy. We're part of 20 hospitals and 240 clinics across Colorado, Kansas, and Utah. Learn more at holycrossutah.org.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting a Teenager. Learning the lingo.
GOAT, G-O-A-T, acronym, stands for Greatest of All Time. As in, spaghetti sandwiches for dinner? They're my fave. Dad, you're the GOAT.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care would love you just the same. Visit adoptuskids.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
Our daughter Jessie loves playing detective.
A clue.
But since we discovered she has sensitive skin, we've been playing detective too.
We thought the problem was our puppy.
But it was actually our old detergent.
Aha.
So we switched to Tide Free and Gentle. Tide cleans better than the leading competitive free detergent, and it doesn't leave behind irritating residues.
Plus, Tide Free and Gentle has no dyes or perfumes, so it's gentle on her skin.
Case closed.
If it's got to be clean, it's got to be Tide Free and Gentle.
Listen to KSL for news to get exactly what you want.
It's a good place to get accurate news. They do the in-depth, reliable, balanced, thought-provoking.
Hear the important stories, the stories that affect you.
On KSL News Radio.
Where it's 3:15, the three things you need to know this hour. First,
Attorney General Mike Lee. The senator's name is on a short list of prospects floated by allies of former President Donald Trump in the event of a second chance at the White House. I'm KSL News Radio's Becky Bruce.
second, Governor Cox just proposed the biggest budget in Utah state history, nearly $30 billion. The legislature will take it up in the new year. Third, our biggest traffic trouble spot.
All jammed up on southbound I-15 in American Fork. The crash is by the exit ramp at 5th East in Utah County, but we still have heavy and slow delays working on the main flow. Right lanes are blocked, delays back to Pioneer Crossing. Ricky Meese in the KSL Traffic Center.
Mostly sunny today with a high of 51. I'm Matt Johnson.
We've surpassed that of 55 degrees now. KSL's top national stories.
From ABC News, I'm Lindsay Davis, anchor of Prime, streaming weeknights on ABC News Live. Israel says its troops have entered Gaza's second largest city, the assault pushing out more displaced Palestinians from areas they were previously told to seek safety. ABC's Inez de la Quatara is in Tel Aviv.
The IDF is in the heart of Khan Yunis. They are also in the heart of Jabalia. They say they have been engaging with terror targets there. And in fact, the IDF saying that today was the most intense day of fighting since the beginning of this ground operation. They say both in terms of the firepower, both by land and by air, and in terms of the numbers of Hamas militants killed.
Increased fighting in the south is also putting aid at risk. On Capitol Hill, several university presidents testifying before the House Education Committee after backlash over their school's response to anti-Semitism. Among those testifying, Harvard President Claudine Gay.
I have sought to confront hate while preserving free expression. This is difficult work, and I know that I have not always gotten it right.
The Department of Education launched an investigation into several universities after receiving complaints about anti-Semitic incidents. The White House urging Congress to approve additional funding for Ukraine's war against Russia. Principal Deputy Press Secretary Olivia Dalton.
Senior administration officials will be very clear to every single member of the House and Senate today about what the stakes are in Ukraine at this moment.
Republicans say they won't pass an aid bill for Ukraine until the White House agrees to tighter restrictions at the southern border. Just hours after Senator Tommy Tuberville announced he will no longer block military promotions that he delayed for months, hundreds of military nominees were unanimously confirmed. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer.
One thing I would say, Senator Tuberville, I hope no one does this again.
The Alabama Republican blocked the promotions in protest of the Pentagon's abortion policy. You're listening to ABC News.
And we have breaking news on KSL News Radio. Maria Chaleos is in the studio. What's going on?
Jeff, that we have just learned that Joseph Emerson, the Alaska Airlines pilot who allegedly attempted to shut off the engines of a passenger plane mid-flight in October, he has now been indicted on 84 counts in an Oregon courtroom. Now, the grand jury indicted Emerson on one count of endangering aircraft in the first degree and 83 counts of recklessly endangering another person, one for each person aboard that aircraft at the time on October 22nd. Jeff?
Thanks a lot, Maria. Time now for the KSL In-Depth. The lineup for next year's Kilby Block Party was announced this morning. Vampire Weekend, just one of the bands. It'll be at Utah State Fair Park in May. Tickets go on sale tomorrow, and joining us live, Kilby's festival coordinator, Faye Barnhurst. Faye, thanks for joining us. First, can you walk us through the headliners this year?
Hi, Jeff. We're super excited about the lineup. This year we have LCD Sound System, the Postal Service, Vampire Weekend, and Wu-Tang Clan.
Not bad. Have you gotten much feedback yet? Are people excited about the bands announced?
Yeah, all the feedback has been really great. We're really excited to go on sale tomorrow.
Yeah, tickets are on sale tomorrow. So what happens? Does this event sell out quickly?
Last year we had about 25,000 people a day. This year we're hoping for closer to 30,000, which would be pretty close to sell out, so we'll see.
So what's going to be different, aside from the acts performing, what's going to be different this year? And for that matter, aside from violent thunderstorms, which we hope don't happen this year, right?
Yeah, hopefully. This year, it's just going to be bigger. We're celebrating 25 years of Kilby Court, so we're hoping to make it a really special event for that.
Yeah, this event has grown to the point where my entire staff disappears when the festival's on because they all head out to the shows. And I hope it's really successful. Where do tickets go on sale tomorrow morning?
They go on sale. You can go to KilbyBlockParty.com or 24tix.com.
Thanks so much for joining us. Faye Barnhurst, Kilby's festival coordinator, live on KSL News Radio. It's 3:19. Let's get you going. Traffic and weather together every 10 minutes on the nines. We're brought to you by Granite Credit Union's new Dividend Plus checking account. And here's Ricky Meese.
Starting in Utah County, we do have a crash on southbound I-15, 5th East American Fork. If you're traveling that direction, even though it's at the exit ramp and blocking right lanes, it has spilled over onto the main flow with delays. And those backups are now into Lehigh near Main Street. In Salt Lake County, we also have traffic getting a little busy southbound I-15, approaching 33rd South, and again from 53rd South in Murray to Midvale. Southbound on Mountain View Corridor, we have delays from the 201 junction down to the intersection at 3500 South, and a right lane blocked eastbound on the 21st South Freeway just after Bangerter Highway from earlier debris on the roadway. Steve?
Well, we're still looking good for the most part on northbound I-15. Got full speeds from downtown into North Salt Lake. Delays in Davis County, though, from Layton into Clearfield. Plus backups in Clearfield on northbound Main Street between SR 193 and 3rd North. And we have more delays on westbound SR 193 approaching I-15 from 400 North by the base. In South Weber, northbound 89 is already packed in at SR 193. When you choose Performance Automotive in Bountiful, you're choosing exceptional service from 4 dealers: Performance Ford Lincoln, Performance Honda, Performance Toyota, and Truck Country. See performancebountiful.com. Steve Carlson in the KSL Traffic Center.
Your 7-day forecast brought to you by Performance Automotive Bountiful. Kevin Eubank is here. And is it me, or is this forecast just a rerun of last week?
It's pretty similar, but I'll tell you what, it doesn't look the same. Outside, it's gorgeous. Blue skies, sunshine, temperatures mild. Jeff, the record today is 60 degrees. We've been to 57 in Salt Lake. It's just very, very warm. There is a little valley haze, but the numbers show that most stations are in the good. We'll keep the haze around tomorrow, 56 hazy, mostly sunny skies. And then a little brush by storm Thursday morning will bring a chance for some light rain in the valleys. And then a stronger storm will get here on Friday. That's going to bring us some snowfall late Thursday night into early Friday. As temperatures fall into the 30s, we ought to get 1 to 2 inches in the valleys and about 3 to 6 on the benches. So it's good because the air quality isn't as bad, and a couple of storms coming that are going to keep things on the clear side.
Yeah, here we go again. Thanks a lot, Kevin. Right now in Salt Lake, 55 degrees. It's 3:21.
Jeff Caplan's Afternoon News, only on KSL News Radio.
You my little boo thing, so I'll give a hoot what you do. Say, girl, I know you a little too tame. I'll be shooting that shot like 2K, girl, I know. Tell 'em I'm put a little gold in the teeth and the fit good, so I took the doors out the deep. Okay, I see a brother holding.
At Grainger, we're for the ones who specialize in saving the day and for the ones who've mastered the art of keeping business moving. We offer industrial-grade supplies for every industry with same-day pickup and next-day delivery on most orders, all backed by real people ready to help. So you can get the right answers and products right when you need them. Call quickgrainger.com or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Every year I tell myself, Doug, you can't procrastinate. It's time to get into Burt Brothers. Make sure that the vehicle I drive, the vehicles that Dee drives, and our family vehicles are all ready for winter. And Burt Brothers, boy, as these temperatures start to drop, soon the snowflakes are going to fall, the roads are going to be slick. You need peace of mind on Utah's snowy roads. Winter tires from Burt Brothers, they make all the difference. You can drive with confidence. Specialized tires designed to grip the road in the harshest conditions. They give you better traction, handling, shorter braking distances, and the gift of safety for you and your loved ones. And right now, save up to $130 back on 4 Bridgestone Blizzak tires through December 16th. That's only at Burt Brothers with complete auto care. They can take care of it all. Make sure you're not off on the side of the road with a little help from your friends at Burt Brothers. And there's a location for Burt Brothers near you.
Can we talk about something difficult to discuss? Are you going through a difficult financial time? You have equity in your home, but nobody can help. I'm Jason Erskine with American Home Loans, and we have created the Bridge Loan Program to use your equity regardless of your credit at this time. The Bridge Loan can be used to pay debts, collections, IRS liens, divorce settlement, or just simply improve your property. Give us a call at 801-262-2221. This loan creates a bridge between now and a much brighter future. During COVID, one of our clients had over $85,000 on credit cards. Their scores were too low to borrow on their home. We were able to save them $2,000 a month, and after 8 months, they qualified for a conventional loan and improved their situation. Look, the consultation is free. Please let us see what we can do for you. Call 801-262-2221. That's 801-262-2221, or go to AmericanHomeLoans.com. That's AmericanHomeLoans.com.
NMLS 245422, Equal Housing Lender.
We're watching Utah's Money, brought to you by Utah First Credit Union. Job openings have hit their lowest level since March 2021. The Labor Department says in October there were 8.7 million openings, roughly 800,000 fewer jobs than economists were expecting. Internet troublemakers may have details about your family tree. Hackers have struck 23andMe, getting away with ancestry information from nearly 7 million users. They slipped into the system via the feature that allows long-lost relatives to contact each other. Lucky people in New York and Miami this Christmas season, Uber will allow them to book party buses with karaoke and Christmas lights on board. Uber Eats will task robotic reindeer to deliver food. Here in Salt Lake, they'll continue to use cars, and humans will show up with your food order. On Wall Street, the Dow down 79 points today, the S&P down 2. Meantime, the NASDAQ was up 44.
You can't expect a policeman to unclog your drain. You shouldn't ask a teacher to change your oil. And you wouldn't want a fireman to clean your teeth. So why would we let politicians take over our internet service? That's just not what they do. Experience proves government-run networks mean waste, corruption, and failure. One example, called Utopia, promised to provide internet service in 16 cities within a few years. But over 20 years and hundreds of millions of dollars later, a better name would be dystopia. They say it's almost complete. We say stop wasting our money. Go to nogovinternet.com and tell lawmakers enough is enough. Local tax dollars are precious, and public employees have plenty to do already. Don't let politicians mess with our internet. Paid for by nogovinternet.com, a project of Domestic Policy Caucus.
When words come out of our mouths and everything sounds fine, no one bats an eye. But if things come out a little jumbled or letters sound different than most, there's speech therapy. But did you know that speech therapy is used for more than just stuttering or disfluency? From articulation to expressive and receptive language to a simple act of swallowing that most of us take for granted, speech therapy can do amazing things for you, your health, and of course your sense of self. That's That's why Summit Speech Therapy is here. Summit Speech Therapy works with people of all ages, from infants and toddlers who have a difficult time feeding or eating, TBI, stroke, or coma patients, to children and adults with speech problems. So much of it is all related, and Summit Speech Therapy can help. Summit works with all insurance companies as well as private pay options, and the experience can be life-changing. With clinics up and down the Wasatch Front, including Murray, with no long waiting for an appointment. For more, visit summitslp.com. That's summitslp.com.
Traffic and weather together every 10 minutes on the nines. We're brought to you by Granite Credit Union's new Dividend Plus checking account. Ricky, what's the latest?
Some good news. The crash that has tangled up traffic in Utah County has been pulled away, and all lanes of traffic are open southbound I-15 at 5th East American Fork. But it's going to take a little while for these delays to clear out, which meant a lot of the delays are stop-and-go speeds, and they are back past Lehigh Main Street. Now, southbound traffic on I-15 in Salt Lake County filling in and slowing down Murray to almost 90th South Sandy, and again passing Bangor Highway and Draper. Delays southbound Mountain View corridor starting just before 2100 South to the 3500 South intersection. Steve?
Salt Lake City PD have been called out to a fresh crash in the Glendale area. This is 12 South and about 1350 West. UHB is clearing up a minor crash on northbound 15 near 6 North on the left, and we have more delays waiting for you in Davis County at Antelope Drive and Layton into Clearfield, and in South Weber, northbound Highway 89 bogged down at SR 193. When Big O Tires goes big, a one-day sale isn't big enough. Now through December 10th, everything is on sale. Stop by your locally owned and operated Big O Tires, the team you trust. Steve Carlson at the KSL Traffic Center.
Not a bad December day. Mostly sunny skies today with a high of 51. Overnight lows will drop off into the low 30s. 52 tomorrow. Slight chance for some light haze. Mostly sunny skies. From the KSL Weather Center, I'm Matt Johnson.
You're listening to Jeff Caplan's Afternoon News
on KSL News Radio, 102.7 FM
and 1160 AM.
Good afternoon, 3:30 at KSL. Jeff Caplan here. 55 degrees in Salt Lake City. KSL's top story. Gabby Petito's parents say they have proof that Brian Laundrie's parents knew all along. They knew all along Gabby was dead. That Laundrie told his parents that she was gone weeks before anyone knew she was missing. This is coming from an updated lawsuit against the Laundries. KSL News Radio's Amy Kobabe has details.
Remember, Gabby Petito's mom reported her missing in September 2021, prompting a search in Wyoming. Eventually, her body was found, abandoned in a campground. But now the Petitos allege that Brian Laundrie, Gabby's fiancé and killer, told his parents weeks before that she was gone and he needed a lawyer. Laundrie's parents hired that lawyer, who made a statement during the search that the Laundries hoped Gabby would be found. The Laundries have already lost a $3 million lawsuit to the Petitos. These new allegations are in a separate case ongoing in Florida. Amy Kobabe, KSL News Radio.
KSL News Time, 3:31. 2 Millard County Sheriff's deputies are facing criminal charges. Prosecutors say they swept a domestic violence complaint under the rug because the officers knew the suspect. KSL News Radio's Hugo Ricard-Bell is live with details. Hugo?
Jeff, one of the officers involved was allegedly having an affair with the woman accused of the domestic violence offence, according to the probable cause affidavit from the Attorney General's office.
These are fairly serious charges, and the lead charge to both officers is what's called obstruction of justice, which is a felony.
KSL legal analyst Greg Scorder says these charges could result in the officers losing their job at a bare minimum.
In the law enforcement community, any of these charges, even the misdemeanors, could result in the loss of their certification to practice law enforcement in the state of Utah.
Domestic violence has been in the spotlight across the state, and law enforcement officers are required to perform a lethality assessment on the victim to determine their risk on every call-out. But it would seem that this was not done at all, according to the court documents. Reporting live, Hugo Ricard-Bell, KSL News Radio.
KSL News Time, 3:32. Today, Governor Cox unveiled his budget for the coming fiscal year. One new initiative is the prevention of domestic violence. Lieutenant Governor Deidre Henderson says $4 million will be allotted to teaching about abuse prevention in public schools.
We will continue to prioritize preventing abuse and supporting victims of domestic violence. A priority for our administration and one that's very meaningful to me personally.
The lieutenant governor lost a cousin to a domestic violence-related shooting last year. We have domestic violence resources posted on our website, KSLNewsRadio.com. Heavy fighting in Gaza is creating anxiety for hostage families. Maria Chaleos is live at the KSL National News Desk.
Jeff, families of American hostages being held in Gaza appeared today before the House Foreign Affairs Committee.
Every second is critical, and every minute that goes by, their chances to keep on being alive are decreasing.
Dahlia Kuzner says they got word only last week that her two brothers-in-law were both alive. President Biden saying at a fundraiser today that he's not going to stop pushing until every hostage is freed. The presidents of Harvard, MIT, and the University of Pennsylvania promising to increase security and provide more counseling to combat hate crimes. Before today's hearing before the House Education Committee, University of Pennsylvania student Ayel Jacoby spoke at a news conference on Capitol Hill.
I refuse to go back to 1939 when Jews had to hide their religious symbols and hide who they are due to the intimidation and harassment of us.
Critics have accused college administrators of allowing anti-Semitic rhetoric to grow as the Israel-Hamas war continues. And a grand jury has indicted an off-duty pilot who's accused of trying to shut off the engine of a passenger plane mid-flight. Joseph Emerson, an Alaska Airlines pilot, was indicted on 84 counts, 1 count for endangering an aircraft in the first degree, and 83 counts of recklessly endangering passengers on board the October flight. Emerson's attorneys claim Emerson thought he was in a dream. Live from the KSL National News Desk, I'm Maria Chaleos, KSL News Radio.
New report suggests if former President Trump wins the White House, he would consider Utah's senior senator to serve as Attorney General of the United States. KSL News Radio's Becky Bruce reports.
The buzz comes from an article written by McKay Coppins of The Atlantic. He cited allies of the former president who suggested Senator Mike Lee could be on the short list for AG, along with fellow Senators Ted Cruz and Josh Hawley. The story is part of a series from The Atlantic called If Trump Wins.
The Attorney General heads the Department of Justice. Mr. Trump has said publicly if he wins, he'll use the DOJ to investigate people that he claims targeted him for political reasons. KSL News Time 3:35 now. First look traffic. Ricky Meese is here, and what's going on?
We had the accident that began a rough commute for Utah County drivers on southbound I-15 5th East, American Fork. It has been cleared and all lanes of travel are open. We're still waiting for these delays to clear out, and those delays are past Lehigh Main Street. Ricky Meese in the KSL Traffic Center.
So, did you get an Amazon delivery today? Stay here. My Minute of News is on the way. Next.
Donate your car to Charity Hotline. This is Roger.
Hi, Roger, I'd like to donate my car.
Yeah, good. Leave the keys in it, park it on the street, and we'll send a tow.
Where's your office?
In New Jersey. Where do you want it to be?
Well, Roger, I want to make sure my donation helps Utah kidney patients.
It will.
Which ones?
Well, does it matter?
Yes, I want the money to stay in Utah.
And boy, have you got the wrong number.
If you want your car donation to help people here in Utah, turn your car into a kidney car for the National Kidney Foundation of Utah and Idaho. Hi, this is Luz Lewis Perez. Kidney Cars is the Beehive State's #1 choice for charity car donation since 1990. When you donate your car to Kidney Cars, funding stays in Utah to help local Utah kidney patients and funds local medical research. Kidney Cars gets donors the highest tax deduction, along with free towing. Visit towcars.org and learn more. That's Tow Cars with a K like kidney. That's TOWKARS.org.
You know, Deb, I'm a huge DIY guy, but one thing I'm not going to touch is electrical.
I've got the answer for you. You have to call Master Electrical. They have what's called upfront pricing. You know how bids can be a guessing game, and the longer an expert's in your home, the bigger the bill is? Not with Master Electrical. This upfront pricing is amazing.
Yeah, their pricing system won't even allow them to go higher.
They do everything that has to do with electrical. You need lights? Call Master Electrical. Ceiling fans, smoke detectors, generators, batteries, even EV chargers.
And all that pricing is upfront, and it's a guarantee.
Master Electrical proudly serves from Logan to Santaquin.
And they're always open, so if you have some emergency, they're there. So give them a call at 801-543-2222. That's 801-543-2222.
Or you can check them out online at masterelectrical.com.
Do it today.
Getting help with electrical repairs is easier than you think. All you have to do is call Any Hour Services or schedule an appointment at anyhourservices.com. No one helps more homeowners than Any Hour Services.
This is My Minute of News, brought to you by Any Hour Services, electrical, plumbing, heating, and air, anyhourservices.com. There it sits in the cold on your doorstep, ignored all day. And when you finally bring that Amazon box inside, you tear it open, then you savagely break it down and relegate it to the recycling bin, never giving a thought to its long, torturous trip to your porch. So a question, where do all these boxes come from? The New York Times reports that box probably came from someplace like Georgia, when loggers cut down a loblolly pine, a very specific tree that grows in the South with long fibers perfect for cardboard. That big, thick log is shipped to a factory where it's bathed in chemicals, turned into pulp, then it's fed into a giant machine that rumbles like a rocket as the pulp is pressed flat, blasted with steam, scorched with heat, then spooled into giant rolls. Now, to make a corrugated box, the paperboard has to hook up. 2 cardboard liners are sandwiched around a wavy piece of paperboard called a flute. It's held into place by glue made from starch and water, and only then is it folded into a box that you'll quickly forget about. This roundabout trip that starts with a loblolly pine is roughly 2,500 miles from a forest to a mill, to Amazon, to your porch, to the recycling bin, and by the end of today, that journey will be repeated 36 million times. And then again tomorrow.
Jeff Kaplan's Minute of News, only on KSL News Radio.
Traffic and weather together every 10 minutes on the 9s. We're brought to you by Granite Credit Union's new Dividend Plus checking. Here's Ricky Meese.
Slowdown setting in southbound I-15 in Salt Lake County from 4500 south to 90th South Sandy. And again, delays starting about a mile or two after 2100 North Lehigh, and they continue to 5th East American Fork from the earlier crash that we had in the area. The rest of your Salt Lake County freeway is not bad. A little busy northbound I-15 in South Salt Lake, but no major delays. But Mountain View has been really jammed up this afternoon. Southbound slowdowns essentially stretch from California Avenue to 3500 South. Steve?
Well, it's already pretty busy on southbound Foothill Drive from Sunnyside Avenue out to about 23rd East by Foothill Village. Northbound 15 delays, though. In Davis County, you're there from Sunset up to Roy. We've got westbound 700 South clogged up right now between the Hill Air Force Base Southgate and I-15. And for South Weber drivers, a slow ride on northbound 89 at SR 193. Don't let tax problems ruin your life. Let Utah tax attorney Jordan Wilcox handle the IRS so you don't have to. Visit taxhelput.com. That's taxhelput.com. Steve Carlson in the KSL Traffic Center.
Plenty of sunshine today with a little valley haze, but temperatures skyrocketed into the mid to upper 50s. Tonight, 33 for the low, hazy sunshine, and 56 on our Wednesday. We'll see a storm system move in early Thursday. It'll bring the valleys a little valley rain in the morning and some mountain snow, but a stronger storm will move in overnight Thursday into Friday. That'll bring 1 to 3 inches of the valleys on Friday for snowfall. The mountains ought to get 8 to 16. From the KSL Weather Center, I'm Kevin Eubank.
And right now in Salt Lake, 55 degrees. So how are we doing toward fixing the teacher shortage? There's a new report, and we'll bring you the details coming up on KSL. We're streaming online at KSLNewsRadio.com. In your car, it's 102.7 FM. This is KSL News Radio, Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
I'm so happy, 'cause today I found my friends. I'm so ugly, that's okay, 'cause so are you. Broke arms,
Derek Overstreet, founder of the New Millennium Group. We're a financial planning firm. Listen, we're fiduciaries. We have advisors standing by right now to take your call. That's 888-999-6370. 888-999-6370. The reason you're going to want to call is we're going to help you retire 3 to 5 years before you thought possible. Now, imagine how that would be if you could actually retire 3 to 5 years sooner than your plan was. The way we do this is by putting together a step-by-step plan, taking into consideration any rental properties that you have, any pension income that you have, your Social Security. Listen, we put that all together for you in writing. It will allow us to build your income based on inflation. You know, inflation has been rapidly rising. You and I both need a plan that whatever we start out our income at, in 5 or 10 years, we're going to need 40% more income. So if you're one of those people listening and you'd like a plan in writing, give us a call at 888-999-6370. That's 888-999-6370, or go to utahsfinancialplanner.com.
Attention holiday shoppers. Ever wonder if, after a long day of shopping, the secret to banishing your body aches lies right under your feet? The Good Feet store is revealing a little-known fact. Your feet could be the culprit behind your hip, knee, and back woes. Believe it or not, it all could be connected. Discover their personally fitted arch supports, a potential game changer for your entire body. Bonus, they're FSA and HSA eligible. Head over to mygoodfeet.com to schedule your free fitting and test walk. Step into a potentially pain-free holiday season with a visit to the Good Feet store. Walk-ins welcome. Stop by the Good Feet store in Farmington, Riverton, or Sandy for a free fitting. Call 1-800-NEW-FEET or visit mygoodfeet.com.
In 400 AD, a forgotten time in ancient America, warrior prophet Moroni must preserve the history of his fallen nation while being hunted by a ruthless tyrant.
Where is the brave general now?
From Freestyle Releasing and Great Scott Entertainment comes
The memory of my God,
The Oath.
my faith and my freedom, my wife and my son.
The Oath, coming to theaters this Friday. Rated PG-13. May be inappropriate for children under 13. More information is available at oathmovie.com.
Introducing Yes Heating, Air Conditioning, Plumbing, and Electric. We're bringing all of Utah's favorite HVAC, plumbing, and electrical brands under one roof. Call the pros at Yes and take $50 off any heating, cooling, plumbing, or electrical system repair over $200. Get fast relief and $50 off any repair from Yes Heating, Air Conditioning, Plumbing, and Electric. The same great people providing the same great service that Utah has counted on for more than 45 years. Visit theyesmancan.com to schedule your appointment.
Thanks for listening this afternoon. KSL News Time 3:45. The three things you need to know this hour first.
Utah Governor Spencer Cox wants to invest hundreds of millions of dollars into various projects around the state this coming year. At the top of his list, building more starter homes. I'm KSL News Radio's Adam Small.
Second, new allegations in a lawsuit from Gabby Petito's parents. They say there's proof Brian Laundrie's mom and dad knew that Gabby was dead weeks before she was reported missing. Third, our biggest traffic trouble spot.
We do have a new accident. This is northbound I-15 in Salt Lake County near 3300 South. Crews are working to get it moved out of traffic to the shoulder. And then we have lingering delays left over on southbound I-15 from a crash at 5th East in American Fork. The crash is gone, but delays stretch from Lehigh to American Fork. Ricky Meese in the KSL Traffic Center.
Near record warmth with plenty of sunshine. I'm Kevin Eubank.
55 degrees. Now, KSL's top national stories from ABC News.
ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. Hours after Senator Tommy Tuberville announced he would lift his 10-month hold on all military nominees, the Senate in one vote unanimously confirmed all 400 nominees.
Aye. Opposed, no. The ayes appear to have it. The ayes do have it. The nominations are confirmed en bloc.
Tuberville was protesting the Pentagon's abortion travel reimbursement policy. In Boston, President Biden spoke out about the Israel-Hamas war and atrocities Hamas terrorists carried out on October 7th.
The president telling a closed campaign fundraiser in Boston he condemns Hamas's physical and sexual violence against women and that terrorist group broke its agreement to release civilian women as part of last week's ceasefire. The president telling re-election supporters Hamas's refusal to release the remaining young women pushed Israel to resume its attacks. Mr. Biden saying he will not stop pushing till every hostage is free.
ABC's Andy Field. This is ABC News.
Time for the KSL In-Depth. The Kem C. Gardner Policy Institute's released a report that found Utah is working hard to address the teacher shortage. Senior education analyst Andrea Brandley wrote the report. She says that Utah ranks high in the country for teacher retention.
You know, even with the COVID-19 pandemic, teacher retention has remained high. It's been about 90%.
which is a high retention rate. We also see that Utah has lower teacher shortages than other states, and that the salaries of teachers in Utah are really quite similar to the national average. So we see pretty good rankings when we look compared to other states. Of course, there are, some warning signs that we've already talked to. This includes lower retention rates among those early career and underqualified teachers, those high student-teacher ratios, and those shortages in certain subject areas. So while I, of course, think there's always room to improve, I also think it's important to celebrate the successes that we have, and there are definitely some of those here in our state.
Utah still struggles in several areas. One of the areas Brandley says needs improvement is Utah's student-to-teacher ratio.
Utah's class size or pupil-teacher ratio is higher than all other states. Actually, ours is the highest. So when we think about teacher shortages or teacher retention, really the reason that this kind of matters there is that if there is a situation where a teaching role goes unfilled, then that, of course, can kind of put pressure on an already high pupil-teacher ratio, where if your pupil-teacher ratio is lower, you have a little bit more flexibility in expanding class sizes to make up for that vacant teaching position. As far as why this is, I think that kind of just, it could be a variety of reasons. We have a lot of kids in the state. It could just be, priorities of decision making. All school districts have limited resources and have to decide how to use them. So they may choose to keep larger class sizes and opt to spend the resources that they have in other places.
Andrea Brandley, who wrote the report, she says teachers in certain specialties are experiencing higher shortages than others, such as like those who work with students in special education. You've been listening to the In-Depth at 15 and 45. KSL News Time, 3:49. It's traffic and weather together now. We're brought to you by Granite Credit Union's new Dividend Plus checking account. Here's Ricky Meese.
We have more crashes to tell you about. One is on the northbound side of I-15, about 3300 south, move to the right shoulder. On southbound I-15, a crash after Bangerter Highway, about 146 south. They've also moved that out of traffic. And then an accident westbound on the 21st South Freeway. It's going to be not far from the West Belt after that, and that is affecting the left lane of travel. A crash on the South Belt. Now, this is going westbound on I-215 in Murray, near State Street, again, out of traffic. And then Utah County, a new crash for you, northbound I-15 at Pioneer Crossing American Fork. And then we still have delays that we're dealing with on southbound I-15 in Utah County from just after 2100 North Lehigh all the way down to American Fork Main Street. Steve?
We're still looking good on northbound I-15 out of downtown. If you're heading into Davis County, got some slowdowns, light slowdowns, Sunset up to Roy. Westbound 700 south, SR 193 clogged up right now between the Bay South Gate there and I-15, and more heavy traffic in Clearfield on northbound Main from SR 193 up to 3rd North. And for South Weber drivers, got a slow ride on northbound 89 this afternoon at SR 193 up to the I-84 ramps. Two Brothers Mattress, your locally owned Serta mattress dealer. Visit any Two Brothers Mattress location from Salt Lake to Orem. Find sale prices now at twobrothersmattress.com. Steve Carlson, the KSL Traffic Center.
KSL 7-day forecast starts off with some warm temperatures, but we've got a couple of storms to deal with. Tonight, 33 for the low, mostly sunny, hazy, and 56 on Wednesday. A weak storm comes by Thursday morning. That'll bring a chance for some valley rain and mountain snow. Highs will lower into the 40s. A colder storm comes in Thursday night into Friday morning. That's going to bring 1 to 3 inches of valley snow, and how about a foot of mountain snow to northern Utah. Partly cloudy Saturday, kind of an in-between day, then another chance for some scattered rain and snow on Sunday into Monday. From the KSL Weather Center, I'm Kevin Eubank.
Your 7-day forecast brought to you by Performance Automotive Bountiful. 55 in Salt Lake City. The record is 60 degrees. It's 3:52.
Jeff Kaplan's Afternoon News, only on KSL News Radio.
All the old paintings on the tomb, they do the sand dance, don't you know? If they move too quick, oh well, they're falling down like a domino. Foreign types with the hookah pipe say, oh well, walk like an Egyptian.
Do you stress about gift giving? I do. The little voice inside my head says, what if they don't like it? But for friends, family, even business associates, get them a Ruth's Chris gift card, and they'll like it. They'll love it. An opulent evening at a world-class restaurant where they'll be treated like royalty? A Ruth's Chris gift card is the perfect present. There are 2 wonderful Ruth's Chris locations downtown in Salt Lake or at the Hotel Park City, and they're both perfect places for your holiday celebration with clients, with friends. Enjoy delicious, flavorful steaks served on a sizzling plate exactly the way you want it, dripping in butter or smothered in blue cheese, or even Oscar style. I love the filet. Best steak I ever had, no kidding. They have wonderful comfort food, side dishes, and those desserts. Enjoy a memorable night with all the holiday sparkle and an incredible dinner. Ruth's Chris in downtown Salt Lake or Park City. I love Ruth's Chris. You will too.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
I'm a big believer in investing into what the wealthiest people in the world invest into. But it's not easy to know exactly what that is, and it hasn't always been possible for regular folks like you and I. But that's changing. I'm Jeff Jr. with Trajan Wealth, and if you've done a good job acquiring some assets, now is the time to consider private equity. Private equity is ownership of private companies that aren't traded on the stock market and in most cases are very exclusive. Examples could include ownership of apartments or nursing homes, dental practices, solar farms, you name it. Why do so many billionaires invest into private equity? Because of historically low correlation to the stock market and historically higher returns. If you have a goal with your portfolio but aren't there yet, call Trajan Wealth today. Call 801-899-7600. That's 801-899-7600.
Advisory services offered through Trajan Wealth, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor. May require accreditation.
Gifts they'll cherish, value, love, and pass down. They're at J. Brooks Jewelers. Online at jbrooksjewelers.com.
We're watching Utah's Money, brought to you by Utah First Credit Union. U.S. oil production is at a record high. Oil prices are down nearly 20%. 2 big reasons: the U.S. is producing so much, and China is suffering an economic downturn, so they don't need as much oil. There you go, supply and demand, and the result, gas is down to an average of $3.06 a gallon in Utah. Wells Fargo says it plans to lay off a lot of workers next year, and the severance will be pricey. The bank's CEO says the severance could cost up to $1 billion in the fourth quarter. Wall Street today, the Dow is down 79 points, the S&P down 2, the NASDAQ, though, up 44 points. KSL News Time 3:56. Time for Cougar Tracks. Here's KSL Sports BYU insider Mitch Harper.
BYU basketball is off to the best start to a season since Jimmer Fredette was playing in the blue and white. The Cougars are 7-0 to open a season for the first time since 2010. They've climbed up to number 14 in the latest AP Top 25 poll. BYU head coach Mark Pope says this group already has an elite trait.
The best thing we have going right now is our guys' communication is elite. And that's a credit to our assistant coaches, our staff, about how they've been working practice and how they've been, and to our guys about embracing that. But our real-time communication is pretty special right now.
BYU looks to maintain its perfect record tonight against the Evansville Aces at the Marriott Center. Tip-off is at 7 p.m. with pregame coverage starting at 6, right here on KSL and the KSL News Radio app. With Cougar Tracks, I'm Mitch Harper on your legacy home of the BYU Cougars, KSL News Radio.
Brace yourself for the ultimate holiday deal with Consumer Cellular. Snag an incredible 50% off the Iris Flip when you buy before December 17th, making it only $34.50. The Iris Flip is all the phone and camera you need with a user-friendly design, the perfect flip phone companion. Plus, you'll get nationwide coverage and always free activation. Score 50% off when you use promo code RADIO50. Head over to consumercellular.com and use promo code RADIO50 during checkout to score this deal.
At EasyCater, we know ordering food for work can get complicated pretty fast.
We're gonna need breakfast for the entire office on Thursday.
Janet wants really nice bagels.
Make sure some are gluten-free.
Make sure they have great coffee.
Can there also be waffles?
Janet has a hard stop at 9:30.
$15 a person
I'm gonna
max.
need itemized receipts for this. Is the budget for breakfast different than what? It's just gonna grab it. Fine.
Company breakfast? Just use EasyCater. Food for work delivered on time as ordered with a huge variety. 100,000 restaurants, one platform. Order 24/7 at easycater.com.
As the year winds down, the storylines are ramping up.
Salt Lake City is the preferred host.
Homelessness in Utah has been steadily increasing.
Israel and Hamas are back at war.
It should be a really good snow season across the state.
Keep up with these and the stories still to come. Listen to Tim and Amanda in the morning from 5 to 9, David DeJanovic at 9, and Boyd Matheson at 1. And on your drive home, get breaking updates and Jeff Kaplan's Minute of News from 3 to 7. All day, all season.
We have you covered at KSL News Radio.
Traffic and weather together every 10 minutes. We're brought to you by Granite Credit Union's new Dividend Plus checking account. Here's Ricky Meese.
We had a crash westbound on the 201 just after I-215's West Belt. Looks like they've been able to get it moved out of traffic because we're seeing traffic starting to move again, but it's still really backed up to the I-15 junction. Southbound I-15 bogged down Murray to Midvale and again in Sandy and Draper. Northbound I-15, we had an accident right about 3300 south. That's backing traffic into Murray. Steve?
Well, a slow and go ride on southbound Foothill this afternoon between Sunnyside and 17 South. If you're on northbound 15 from downtown, got a good drive into Davis County. Then some light slowdowns, Sunset up to Roy. Lots of slow traffic on SR 193 around the base. Westbound 7 South here clogged up between the South Gate and I-15. And we have heavy traffic on northbound 89 from SR 193 up to the 84 Rams. Master storyteller and songwriter Michael McLean will be live on stage with a full Forgotten Carols cast in Orem, Ogden, Salt Lake, and Heber. Tickets going fast at ForgottenCarols.com. Steve Carlson, the KSL Traffic Center.
We're headed down to the freezing mark overnight. For tomorrow, sunshine, smog, and up to 52 degrees. There is a chance for some rain on Thursday, snow on Friday, maybe with accumulation. KSL quarters for Christmas time, 3:59.
KSL FM Midvale.
KSL Salt Lake City.
Listen at home on any smart speaker.
And in your car at 102.7 FM.
This is KSL News Radio.
Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
Good afternoon, 4 o'clock at KSL News Radio. I'm Jeff Kaplan. We're at 55 degrees in Salt Lake City. KSL's top story, a new proposal in Salt Lake County would require gender-specific locker rooms at rec centers. KSL News Radio's Amy Kobabe is live with details. Amy?
Jeff, this was brought up in today's county council meeting. Councilman David Alvord argued that without this ordinance, a man can enter the women's locker room with no repercussions.
And we cannot stop it. If someone complains, the staff cannot address it because of the strict non-discrimination policy.
Dozens of people turned out to the county council meeting today, passionate on both sides.
I don't know what the answer is, but it sure is not putting grown men with little girls. Where do we stop with this?
I want you to fully grasp the impact of this ordinance. In addition to being an immense waste of time, energy, and funds, it will be nothing but an inconvenience for all residents of this county, including yourselves. How do you intend to meaningfully enforce it?
Councilwoman Laurie Stringham became emotional in the meeting. She argued that it is not something the county needs to tackle right now, especially because a lawsuit against it would be expensive.
This entire issue, which seems simple on the surface to some, has many complex social and legal implications. This issue is before several state and federal courts, and no doubt will end up in the U.S. Supreme Court probably sometime this next year.
The proposal was tabled. Reporting live, Amy Kobabe, KSL News Radio.
Thanks, Amy. Salt Lake City police are asking the public's help finding the thieves behind a possible hate crime. Somebody stole multiple pride flags and broke at least one fence in the ballpark neighborhood. Police think the thefts happened in the early morning hours of Monday. They're asking neighbors to check security and doorbell cameras. Governor Spencer Cox has released his yearly budget proposal, and it's the biggest budget in the state's history. Among the hundreds of millions he wants to invest around the state, one of his top priorities is building new homes. homes that people can actually afford.
Governor Cox says the cost of owning a home is the single greatest threat to the future prosperity of Utah.
I believe this is an existential threat, not just to the American dream, but to our way of life.
To help combat the problem, the governor wants to invest $150 million in specifically building new starter homes. Most of that money would help combat the cost of infrastructure needed for new developments like water, sewer, and roads. The goal is to have 35,000 new starter homes up by 2028.
KSL News Radio's Adam Small there. The budget does not include any tax cuts after a couple of years in a row of tax cuts. But the budget doesn't raise taxes either. The legislature will have the final say on what happens next. They'll get to work on the budget in January. Outrage from Israel's prime minister over atrocities committed by Hamas. Maria Chaleos is live at the KSL National News Desk.
Jeff, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is angry with human rights groups for failing to condemn Hamas.
I say to the women's rights organizations, to the human rights organizations, you've heard of the rape of Israeli women, horrible atrocities, sexual mutilation. Where the hell are you?
Netanyahu saying the only way to bring home the rest of the hostages is through massive military force in Gaza. House Republicans are negotiating with the White House over a plan to tie funding for Ukraine to spending on U.S. border protection. Congressman Byron Donald says if the White House agrees to include border security, Republicans would be willing to talk.
Without border security, the votes don't exist in the House, not with House Republicans.
President Biden has declared the two issues are independent. Hundreds of Pentagon promotions held up for almost a year by one Republican senator have now been confirmed by the Senate.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. The ayes appear to have it. The ayes do have it. The nominations are confirmed.
It took just a matter of minutes this afternoon, hours after Senator Tommy Tuberville announced his decision to lift his blockade on military nominations. Tuberville has been protesting a Pentagon policy ensuring abortion access for service members. Live from the KSL National News Desk, I'm Maria Chaleos, KSL News Radio.
Math scores around the world are dropping, with the U.S. lagging behind other countries.
In a global math test known as the Program for International Student Assessment, or PISA, scores among American students were subpar. 15-year-olds in the U.S. scored below students from the UK, Australia, and Germany, and well behind higher-performing students in Singapore, South Korea, and Estonia. The numbers show student math scores in the U.S. have fallen sharply since 2018 and were lower than 20 years ago, but the numbers were better in reading and science, where American students scored above average internationally. Derek Dennis, ABC News.
The Salt Lake VA Medical Center is hosting its 80th year of the Veterans Gift Shop. Tyrone Levine says it's his third year utilizing the shop for his grandkids.
It's helpful because it gets something I can give to my kids, because being on a certain amount of pay, we're on a very tight budget, so this kind of helps us so we can get all the kids covered and give them a happy Christmas too.
If you want to help with future events, you can visit this website, volunteer.va.gov. KSL News Time 4:05. We'll help you out getting home now. First look traffic. Ricky Meese is here. What's up?
Delays on I-15 in Salt Lake and Utah counties. Plus, we have solid slow and go speeds westbound on the 201 between I-15 and the West Belt. Ricky Meese in the KSL Traffic Center.
My Minute of News is on the way next. Stay right here.
It's easy to think all money managers are pretty much the same, but at Fisher Investments, we're clearly different.
Different? How? You sell high-commission investment products, right?
No, Fisher Investments doesn't sell any commission-based investment products.
Well, you must earn commissions on trades.
Nope, never at Fisher. We're a fiduciary, obligated to act in our client's best interest. It's the highest standard of care for a financial advisor.
How do you know what's in their best interest?
We get to know our clients and then tailor a portfolio based on their goals and needs.
But you probably sneak in some hidden and layered fees.
No, we have one transparent management fee structured so we do better when our clients do better.
Wow, you really do look out for your clients.
That's because our top priority is helping them achieve a comfortable retirement. It might be why most of our clients come from other money managers. Visit FisherInvestments.com to find out why investors like you switch to us. Fisher Investments. Clearly different money management.
Investments in securities involve the risk of loss.
Are you currently renting? Stop! Don't settle for renting or buying a townhome when you can build an R5 Flex ADU single-family home and double your investment return while cutting your payment in half by leasing your private basement suite. Visit r5homes.com to learn more about the benefits of a rentable basement suite ADU. You owe it to yourself to visit our Eagle Mountain model and see how you can qualify for a single-family home. Visit r5homes.com for a free qualification quote and gift. r5homes.com.
This joyful sound is the No More Chemo bell at Intermountain Health St. George Hospital, and it means that Sarah Parker beat cancer. It also means her doctor spotted it early enough to treat, and that her oncologist helped her fight it every step of the way. It means that her nurse helped her keep track of medicines, and that a case manager made the whole experience just a little bit easier. Every time we hear that bell, it reminds us that all things are possible when we work together. It reminds us of the power of we. Intermountain Health.
Reliability, steadiness, trusted voices.
I'll listen to KSL in the morning, and if I happen to be in my car and I'll notice it's close to top of the hour, then I'll go there to hear the news.
We have you covered at KSL News Radio.
This is My Minute of News, brought to you by Any Hour Services, electrical, plumbing, heating, and air, anyhourservices.com. How's your marriage doing? Hopefully it's filled with wonder as you meander through life married to your best friend, living as lovers and equals, sharing milestones with warm smiles. But if you're not happily married, I'm looking at this study from Israel, and it's not good.
There must be 50 ways to leave your lover.
Not so fast. Hang on here. This study from Israel is a survey among men who claimed they were unhappy in their marriages. 21% of them, 1 out of 5, died of premature death. Now, reflexively, you hear a statistic like that and you think you gotta get out of this rough marriage. We're conditioned to walk away from less than fulfilling situations. Heck, the music industry is sitting on piles and piles of money made from breakup songs. It's true there aren't as many songs about marriage counseling and sticking it out. Well, the late Al Green had one, but he was an actual reverend, so this counts as counseling.
Ooh, baby, let's stay together.
If you languish in a relationship that fails to satisfy, and if the grass seems greener on the other side, I don't have any answers. But I do have another research study right here. It says that single men have worse BO than married men. 82 women smelled men's used T-shirts, and the results were definitive. Single men have a stronger odor. Perhaps it's a whiff of desperation. Maybe not. But if your marriage ain't all that, this study shows definitively this song is wrong.
Love stinks. Love stinks.
Guys, love does not stink. But there's definitive proof the absence of love does.
Jeff Caplan's Minute of News, only on KSL News Radio.
Traffic and weather together every 10 minutes. We're brought to you by Granite Credit Union's new Dividend Plus checking account. Here's Ricky Mees.
Delays on the 201 westbound between I-15 and the West Belt. Southbound I-15 jammed up from 4500 south almost to 90th south, and then heavy and slow in Draper. Starting at 123rd south northbound I-15, that is bogged down from 3300 south all the way to the 6th south exit downtown. Mark?
You got 2 problems in Utah County working crash. Southbound I-15 north of Center Street in Orem on the left shoulder, and then on the right shoulder northbound. But I'm not seeing any delays with the crash at Pioneer Crossing. Not seeing any delays out west on Bangerter, Mountain View, or SR 36. Just sluggish in the usual places right now. Steve.
Got slowdowns on southbound Foothill between Wacara Way and 21st South. I-15 rolling clean and green both ways right now. Between downtown Salt Lake and Brigham City, nothing to slow you down there. But westbound 700 South, SR 193. Pretty clogged up between the Bay South Gate and I-15. We had some apparently a blockage there with a stalled vehicle or something. But traffic is starting to move again through there. In South Weaver, delays on northbound 89 at SR 193 up to the 84 Rams. When Big O Tires goes big, a one-day sale isn't big enough. Now through December 10th, everything's on sale. Stop by your locally owned and operated Big O Tires, the team you trust. Steve Carlson in the KSL Traffic Center.
Plenty of sunshine today with a little valley haze, but temperatures skyrocketed into the mid to upper 50s.
Tonight, 33 for the low, hazy sunshine and 56 on our Wednesday. We'll see a storm system move in early Thursday. It'll bring the valleys a little valley rain in the morning and some mountain snow, but a stronger storm will move in overnight Thursday into Friday. That'll bring 1 to 3 inches in the valleys on Friday for snowfall. The mountains ought to get 8 to 16. From the KSL Weather Center, I'm Kevin Eubank.
55 in Salt Lake City, so Governor Cox released his budget today. Do you want to hear what he has to say about taxes? It's coming up on KSL. Just a few minutes. Stay here. This is Utah's news, traffic, and weather station. It's 4:12, Tuesday afternoon. Advanced Window Products is having their biggest sale of the year. If your old windows let the winter cold seep in, now's the time to get the highest quality double-pane windows and custom insulated frames. Advanced Window Products is a local company that crafts beautiful precision frames right here in Salt Lake City for 37 years. And the magic is, they cut out the middleman. They build the windows, they install the windows, and they guarantee them for life. So you save on the highest quality windows and frames. Any style, any color, any questions? Yes, financing. They offer 60-month 0% financing. They'll even let you put off the first payment up to 2 years, and while that's tempting to think about, the reason to call them right now is the biggest sale of the year. This month only, when they do your entire home of 10 windows or more, you get $3,500 off plus a free premium glass upgrade. So call Advanced Window Products right now, 801-850-9100, 801-850-9100, or advancedwindowsusa.com.
Advertising used to be simple. Your options were radio, TV, newspaper, and let's not forget the yellow pages. Now it seems like a tidal wave of options. Podcast, cable TV, streaming, OTT, CTV, audio networks, smart speakers. On top of that, you need digital marketing for your website along with SEM, SEO, display, video, YouTube, email, and all the social media platforms. Look, you're the expert in your business. Wouldn't it be nice to have an expert to market you? We are Bonneville Salt Lake, the local marketing and media company you know and trust. We reach customers across all digital and social platforms and have the reach of traditional advertising available as well. We find your customer anytime, any place, anywhere on any device here in Utah or anywhere in the world. We work to optimize your results with our in-house local team of experts, providing you with qualified leads, not just impressions. Contact us at aimyourdigital.com for a free consultation, including a complete digital audit with no obligation or cost to you. We are Bonneville Salt Lake. Your success starts at aimyourdigital.com.
Is your payment too much? Is your interest rate too high? Are you just driving a car you don't love? I'm Josh Osborne with Volkswagen Southtown, and it's time to switch and save.
Switch and save your way at Volkswagen Southtown. Get a low sign then drive lease and pay $0 down and $0 next month. Or switch your rate and get as low as 3.9% for 72 months. Or save by getting $1,000 more for your trade.
Don't miss out. Switch and save at Volkswagen Southtown. Visit VWSouthtown.com.
Financing through VCI OAC.
KSL News Time 4:15. The three things you need to know this hour. First,
the Salt Lake County Council is considering an ordinance to require gender-specific bathrooms in county rec centers. It would also require a third gender-neutral option, but many public commenters today argued that this is transphobic. I'm KSL News Radio's Amy Kobabe.
Second, new research suggests Utah is doing a good job addressing the teacher shortage. We are able to reduce classroom sizes over the past year. Third, our biggest traffic trouble spot.
A lot of slowing on southbound I-15 stretching from Murray into Draper. Then again in Utah County southbound slowdowns start just after Lehigh Main Street all the way to Linden. Ricky Meese in the KSL Traffic Center.
Sunny skies with a little valley haze. I'm Kevin Eubank.
55 degrees now. KSL's top national stories.
From ABC News. I'm Daria Albinger. With just one vote, hundreds of military nominations which hung in the balance for nearly a year were approved today by the Senate.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. The ayes appear to have it. The ayes do have it. The nominations are confirmed en bloc.
It's because Alabama Republican Tommy Tuberville ended his blockade over a Pentagon abortion policy.
It's not just flicking a switch and suddenly everyone moves into these new positions. You have to consider things like when people can move, where the people that are moving out of the positions are going.
Pentagon spokesman Brigadier General Pat Ryder. The IDF says it's entered the second largest city in Gaza as an intensified air campaign sent streams of ambulances and cars racing to hospitals with wounded and dead Palestinians. Senate Democrats will allow Republicans to add an amendment to a military funding bill, but there's a catch.
Republicans want border security written into the Israeli and Ukrainian funding bill. Senate Democrats don't like the language, so Democratic leader Chuck Schumer has offered to let them vote on a border spending amendment, which is not likely to pass.
It will need 60 votes, like any amendment would.
Republicans insisting on baking in the border spending to force Democrats to say yes as they approve the other foreign aid. Andy Field, ABC News, Washington.
An investigation is underway into a house explosion last night in Arlington, Virginia. Fire Chief Jason Jenkins says authorities responded to a person shooting off a flare gun and evacuated the neighborhood.
The fire department personnel absolutely saved lives in anticipation of what could happen. And unfortunately, what did happen.
Jenkins says the blast occurred while officers were trying to negotiate with James Yu, the man accused of shooting the gun. He died in the explosion. Stocks closed mixed today. You're listening to ABC News.
Time for the KSL In Depth now. Governor Spencer Cox has released his annual budget proposal, but he did not mention any tax cuts. The governor says technically his proposed expansion of the child tax credit amounts to a small tax cut.
And those talks are ongoing. Again, we're always supportive of tax cuts. There is a small tax cut in here, and that is for the child tax credit. We did a tax cut last year for families with children ages 0 to 3. We want to move that now 0 to 5. So adding ages 4 and 5 in that we think is helpful. One of the reasons for that is we've had such huge tax cuts over the past 3 years. By the way, the largest tax cut in our state's history was about $225 million. We've done over $1 billion in 3 years, which we're very, very proud of.
Now, do you want some good reading at night before you go to sleep? Governor Cox is encouraging everyone to take a look at the budget book.
It's available online. Every Utahn can go and look at the many different categories. Please feel free to read the book. I know you would love to do that. There's some great work that has gone in there that explains where the revenues come from, help to understand some of the nuances of government, where we can spend money, where we can't, which buckets of money go where, how all of that works. You can look at the over $1 billion in tax decreases that we've implemented over the past 3 years that we're very proud of.
Well, I said read it before you go to sleep. The legislature is going to take up his nearly $30 billion budget proposal, the biggest in Utah history, come January. KSL News Time 4:19 now. Traffic and weather together every 10 minutes. We're brought to you by Granite Credit Union's new Dividend Plus checking account. So what's going on, Ricky?
We still have delays waiting for you on southbound I-15, starting in South Salt Lake to about 90th South, and then again in Draper, 123rd South to 146th South. Westbound on the 201, it's still slow as you go from I-15 to just past the West Belt. Mark?
Yeah, it looks like the delays in Utah County a little earlier than we might normally expect on southbound I-15 Lehigh down to Linden. The reason is because of a crash that's clearing a little bit further down to Orem at Center Street. On the southbound side, it looks like also out west, starting to get some sluggish volume. Down Mountain View at daybreak, Bangerter delays between California Avenue and 3500 Southwest Valley. Steve.
I-15 looking at great speed so far this afternoon between downtown Salt Lake City and Willard Bay State Park. Do have bumper-to-bumper traffic, though, westbound 700 South, SR 193, still pretty clogged up by the Bay South gate there over to I-15. In South Weber, delays on northbound 89, still packed in at SR 193 as you cruise up to the I-84 ramps. Good speeds, though, on the 215 West Belt and Legacy so far this afternoon. Winter is coming, and Burt Brothers wants you safe on winter roads. Save $130 now on a set of 4 Bridgestone Blizzak tires. Burt Brothers, affordable, complete auto care, done better. BurtBrothers.com. Steve Carlson in the KSL Traffic Center.
The KSL 7-day forecast has some warm temperatures and then a storm. Today, we've been in the 50s with lots of sunshine. Clear and 33 overnight, mostly sunny, a little hazy, and 56 for the high on Wednesday. Storm system will move in early Thursday morning. A little brush by, some valley rain and mountain snow. But a stronger storm gets here Thursday night into Friday. That will bring 1 to 3 inches of snow to the valleys, 3 to 6 on the benches, and 8 to 16 in the northern mountains. Partly cloudy, 38 on Saturday, and then another storm system looks to brush by Sunday into early Monday with another chance for some light snow. From the KSL Weather Center, I'm Kevin Eubank.
Your 7-day forecast brought to you by Performance Automotive Bountiful. It's 55 degrees. Ghost kitchens are in trouble. Do you know what a ghost kitchen is? We'll stay here. Stories coming up
Jeff
next.
Caplan's Afternoon News, only on KSL News Radio.
Everybody's talking all this stuff about me. Now, they just let me live. Ooh, permission, make my own decisions. That's my prerogative. They say I'm crazy.
The perfect present doesn't always come wrapped under the tree. Treat your loved ones to an unforgettable afternoon or evening of music and laughter with the Utah Symphony at Abravanel Hall. With tickets to our holiday programs this December, you're not just giving a gift. You're sharing a heartfelt experience that will create cherished memories. The Utah Symphony is transforming its concert hall into a winter wonderland for a holiday pops extravaganza. Or you can join for a movie night and see favorite holiday films like Disney's Frozen or Love Actually. And the Jolly Man himself will make an appearance at Here Comes Santa Claus. Show them you care with the gift of music this season. Don't delay, because many concerts sell out. Visit usuo.org/holiday to get tickets starting at just $16.
Treat your loved ones with an unforgettable afternoon or evening of holiday music and laughter with the Utah Symphony. Visit utahsymphony.org/holiday.
In 400 AD, a forgotten time in ancient America, warrior prophet Moroni must preserve the history of his fallen nation while being hunted by a ruthless tyrant.
Where is the brave general now?
From Freestyle Releasing and Great Scott Entertainment comes
The memory of my God,
The Oath.
my faith and my freedom, my wife and my son.
The Oath, coming to theaters this Friday. Rated PG-13. May be inappropriate for children under 13. More information is available at oathmovie.com.
Can we talk about something difficult to discuss? Are you going through a difficult financial time? You have equity in your home, but nobody can help. I'm Jason Erskine with American Home Loans, and we have created the Bridge Loan Program to use your equity regardless of your credit at this time. The Bridge Loan can be used to pay debts, collections, IRS liens, divorce settlement, or just simply improve your property. Give us a call at 801-262-2221. This loan creates a bridge between now and a much brighter future. During COVID, one of our clients had over $85,000 on credit cards. Their scores were too low to borrow on their home. We were able to save them $2,000 a month, and after 8 months, they qualified for a conventional loan and improved their situation. Look, the consultation is free. Please let us see what we can do for you. Call 801-262-2221. That's 801-262-2221, or go to AmericanHomeLoans.com. That's AmericanHomeLoans.com.
NMLS 245422, Equal Housing Lender.
Experience low maintenance luxury townhome living during Nielsen Home for the Holidays open house, December 18th, 5 to 7 p.m. Pictures with Santa and warm churros. Visit NielsenHomes.com for details.
The biggest financial decision you'll ever make.
I've always felt like my kids will own a home.
And it's trickier than ever.
Insurance, PMI, don't even get me started on home repairs.
If you're buying or selling a home, Dave and Debbie have you covered. The 2024 housing market. Each morning this week at 10:20 on KSL News Radio.
We're watching Utah's Money, brought to you by Utah First Credit Union. The federal government's going to investigate ExxonMobil's massive merger plan. The oil giant wants to acquire Pioneer Natural Resources for $60 billion, but the FTC says not so fast. The agency will consider whether this biggest gas and oil deal in 20 years would suppress competition. Tens of thousands of children's cups have been recalled for high lead content. The Click Pick children's stainless steel cups are sold exclusively via Amazon. Lead was found in the bottom of the cup, and that's not all. The lid can break and expose sharp metal edges. Ghost kitchens are dying. These are restaurants with no place to sit, no place to pick up. They just make food for apps like DoorDash and Uber Eats. Kitchen United is one of these ghost kitchens. They've just announced they're selling or closing all of their locations. On Wall Street today, the Dow was down 79, the S&P was down 2, but the NASDAQ was up 44 points.
You know, Deb, I'm a huge DIY guy, but one thing I'm not going to touch is electrical.
I've got the answer for you. You have to call Master Electrical. They have what's called upfront pricing. You know how bids can be a guessing game, and the longer an expert's in your home, the bigger the bill is? Not with Master Electrical. This upfront pricing is amazing.
Yeah, their pricing system won't even allow them to go higher.
They do everything that has to do with electrical. You need lights? Call Master Electrical. Ceiling fans, smoke detectors, generators, batteries, even EV chargers.
And all that pricing is upfront, and it's a guarantee.
Master Electrical proudly serves from Logan to Santa Quinn.
And they're always open, so if you have some emergency, they're there. So give them a call at 801-543-2222. That's 801-543-2222.
Or you can check them out online at masterelectrical.com.
Do it today.
Are you ready to just take charge of your physical health and well-being? Now's the perfect time to do it, and the best way to do it is with SOTA Weight Loss. SOTA stands for state-of-the-art weight loss because it is. It's state-of-the-art. It'll help you deal with all of the challenges that normally go unaddressed when it deals with weight loss. You're going to have your own coach and nutritionist that are going to help you tackle the mental, emotional habits, the behaviors associated that will allow you to let that excess weight go. The pounds and inches fall off. It's amazing. I lost 37 pounds in just 90 days, and now it's been almost 2 full years. I am still 37 pounds down. I've never felt better, all through SOTA Weight Loss. And I'm not the only one. There's thousands of people across the country with similar results. It puts you in charge and you in control of what your body needs, how you get it, and how you can really thrive. Do it with SOTA Weight Loss, as I always say, when it comes to your SOTA Weight Loss journey. There's no time to lose, only time to win, so start winning today. Check it out at sotaweightloss.com, SOTA weightloss.com.
Do you make an app?
Traffic and weather together every 10 minutes on the nines. Brought to you by Granite Credit Union's new Dividend Plus checking account. Ricky, the latest?
Delays southbound I-15 in Salt Lake County from about 33rd south into Sandy, and you get a brief break before more slowing going through Draper. Northbound I-15 filling in and slowing down. That's from just at the very tip of Murray all the way to downtown. The 201 has had delays as well westbound between I-15 and the West Belt. Mark?
Mountain View, 5600 West, and Bangerter Highway all getting a little bit heavy for rush hour between California Avenue and West Valley. Southbound Mountain View slows through Daybreak. Redwood Road's okay. And I-15 in Utah County slows Lehigh Main Street down to Geneva Road. Steve?
Well, I-15 pretty good shape right now. Just a bit thick through Centerville if you're traveling northbound. Otherwise, good speeds both ways between Salt Lake and Brigham City. Plus, bumper-to-bumper traffic still there. Westbound 700 South, SR 193. Still clogged up between the Base South Gate and I-15. And we have delays on northbound 89, still packed in from SR 193. Cypress checking account members enjoy discounted rates on auto and RV loans, free access to their credit scores and reports, a suite of their other products and perks. Learn more at cypresscu.com. That's Cypress Credit Union. Your future is their future. Steve Carlson in the KSL Traffic Center.
It's been a beautiful day with temperatures up near record-breaking levels. We've been in the upper 50s. A record today is actually 60. Tonight, mostly clear and 33. Hazy sunshine and 56 on Wednesday. A storm system will brush by northern Utah early Thursday, bringing a chance for some morning rain showers. A stronger storm will get here Thursday night, bringing snow into Friday. From the KSL Weather Center, I'm Kevin Eubank.
You're listening to Jeff Caplan's Afternoon News
on KSL News Radio, 102.7 FM
and 1160 AM.
Good afternoon, 4:30 at KSL. Jeff Caplan here. It's 55 degrees. KSL's top story. The parents of Brian Laundrie are now accused of knowing Gabby Petito was dead weeks before she was even reported missing. Those claims come from a deposition with the Laundries that the Petito family has added to an ongoing lawsuit. KSL News Radio's Amy Kobabe here with the update.
The allegation is that Brian Laundrie told his parents in August 2021 that Gabby was, quote, gone, and he needed a lawyer. The family hired a lawyer who later issued a statement after Gabby was reported missing, saying that they hoped she was found. The Petitos say this is beyond outrageous, claiming the lawyer knew she was already dead.
The Petitos have already won a lawsuit against the Laundries. These allegations are in a separate case that's still ongoing. KSL News Time 4:31. 2 Millard County Sheriff's deputies are facing criminal charges after prosecutors say they swept a domestic violence complaint under the rug over a personal relationship.
One of the officers involved was allegedly having an affair with the woman accused of the domestic violence offence, according to the probable cause affidavit from the Attorney General's office.
These are fairly serious charges, and the lead charge to both officers is what's called obstruction of justice, which is a felony.
KSL legal analyst Greg Scorder says these charges could result in the officers losing their job at a minimum.
In the law enforcement community, any of these charges, even the misdemeanors, could result in the loss of their certification to practice law enforcement in the state of Utah.
Domestic violence has been in the spotlight across the state, and law enforcement officers are required to perform a lethality assessment on the victim to determine their risk on every call-out. But it would seem that this was not done at all, according to the court documents. Hugo Ricard-Bell, KSL News Radio.
Just over a year after she lost a cousin to a shooting blamed on domestic violence, Lieutenant Governor Deidre Henderson says she's committed to making sure the state prioritizes abuse prevention. She joined Governor Cox in unveiling his proposed budget for next year, which includes $4 million for age-appropriate public school education aimed at preventing abuse.
We're also funding $9.2 million for victim services, including staffing for service providers, ensuring resources for victims, and expanding prevention education.
The lieutenant governor's been a leading voice in the push for a new Utah law that requires police departments to do lethality assessments in domestic violence cases. KSL has domestic violence resources posted on our website, kslnewsradio.com. President Biden today condemned Hamas for raping and mutilating women. Maria Chaleos is live at the KSL National News Desk.
Jeff, while speaking at a political fundraiser, President Biden said hostages who have been freed are talking about unimaginable cruelty to women. Meantime, families of the American hostages still being held appeared before the House Foreign Affairs Committee today. Moshe Lavi's brother-in-law is among the captives.
Marie is still in a tunnel, underground, subjugated to additional torture, mental and physical torture, as described by hostages who were released.
The 46-year-old is a husband and father of 2 daughters. The leaders of some of the most prominent universities in the country were on Capitol Hill today testifying about their response to anti-Semitic incidents on their campuses. House Education Chair Virginia Fox spoke to reporters alongside Jewish students.
Universities, quick to facilitate the spread of anti-Semitism, are now slow to condemn it.
The presidents of Harvard, MIT, and the University of Pennsylvania telling lawmakers they have increased security and are providing more counseling for students. New information into what led to a house explosion in Arlington, Virginia. The FBI says they knew of the man who lived in the house.
I would characterize these communications as primarily complaints about alleged frauds he believed were perpetrated against him.
The FBI's David Sundberg says they are investigating disturbing social media posts made by the suspect, including rants about his neighbors. He says the house exploded just as officers breached the doorway. He says they believe that the suspect died in the explosion. Live from the KSL National News Desk, I'm Maria Chaleos, KSL News Radio.
Utah Senator Mike Lee's name has come up on a short list of possible candidates for U.S. Attorney General if former President Trump wins back the White House.
That detail comes from a series of reports titled If Trump Wins in The Atlantic magazine. Reporter McKay Coppin spoke with allies of the former president who included Senator Lee on a list of names they would consider to head up the Justice Department. Also on the list, Senators Josh Hawley and Ted Cruz, and a former assistant AG who faces charges in Georgia of plotting to overturn the 2020 election. Mr. Trump has publicly said he would use the Justice Department to go after his critics. Becky Bruce, KSL News Radio.
Time for First Look Traffic now. Ricky Meese is here. How's the rush? Or she's not here. Maybe busy checking on traffic.
Here I am. Sorry
Good.
about that.
So we have the latest details. We know that.
We do. We have some slowdowns on northbound I-15. It has really filled in from about 4500 south to the 6 south exit getting into downtown Salt Lake City. All of the earlier accidents that we had, and they were coming in really quickly there for a bit, those have all cleared. Ricky Meese in the KSL Traffic Center.
And my Minute of News is on the way next. Stay right here.
The semi-annual sale is underway at Foothill Oriental Rugs. Jim Weber is with me. And tell us a little bit about your latest trips and the people that you're helping.
There's a guy I've dealt with in Pakistan. His name is Mahmood. He's Afghan, and he still has rug manufacturing infrastructure going on in northwestern Afghanistan, where they're doing the most beautiful vegetable-dyed rug production in the world right now. And I love giving those people work, because if anyone needs jobs, it's the Afghans. These Afghan vegetable-dyed rugs are just beautiful pieces of textile art.
Every time I come into the store, you have such a great variety for people to choose from. The other thing that really differentiates you from the other guy, they can even take them home if they want to.
It's hard to make a decision on a rug until you see it in the space, so we always encourage our customers to try them in the space before they make a decision. If you've ever needed a rug, this is a great time to come in and look at rugs, because our retail prices are better than the industry on average, and right now they're marked down up to 70% off.
Don't miss out. The semi-annual sale is underway now at Foothill Oriental Rugs, 1460 South Foothill Drive, just south of Foothill Village.
What's up, everybody? I'm Mike Wilson with Any Hour Services, and if you have a drain that's clogged or backed up, after you've tried the plungers and products, the next step usually involves some kind of drain snake or cabling equipment. You see, sometimes the blockage is far enough down the line that you need special equipment that most homeowners just don't have. That's where the Drains Department at Any Hour Services can help. A drain snake can clear most blockages and get the water flowing again, and clearing blocked drains is what our Drains Department does day in and day out. So if you're a homeowner with a drain line that's clogged or backed up and you'd like one of our drain technicians to come and snake the line for you, it's only $29. Yep, you heard that right. Any Hour Services will snake any drain line with normal access for only $29. Sinks, showers, tubs, toilets, floor drains, laundry drains, even that sewer main line that connects to the city. We'll snake any line for just $29. For help with your drain issues, call Any Hour Services at 801-443-7700. You can Google Any Hour Services. You can even schedule online at anyhourservices.com. No one helps more homeowners than Any Hour Services.
This is My Minute of News, brought to you by Any Hour Services, electrical, plumbing, heating, and air, anyhourservices.com. There it sits in the cold on your doorstep, ignored all day. And when you finally bring that Amazon box inside, you tear it open, then you savagely break it down and relegate it to the recycling bin, never giving a thought to its long, torturous trip to your porch. So a question, where do all these boxes come from? The New York Times reports that box probably came from someplace like Georgia, when loggers cut down a loblolly pine, a very specific tree that grows in the South with long fibers perfect for cardboard. That big, thick log is shipped to a factory where it's bathed in chemicals, turned into pulp, then it's fed into a giant machine that rumbles like a rocket as the pulp is pressed flat, blasted with steam, scorched with heat, then spooled into giant rolls. Now, to make a corrugated box, the paperboard has to hook up. 2 cardboard liners are sandwiched around a wavy piece of paperboard called a flute. It's held into place by glue made from starch and water, and only then is it folded into a box that you'll quickly forget about. This roundabout trip that starts with a loblolly pine is roughly 2,500 miles from a forest to a mill, to Amazon, to your porch, to the recycling bin, and by the end of today, that journey will be repeated 36 million times. And then again tomorrow.
Jeff Kaplan's Minute of News, only on KSL News Radio.
Traffic and weather together every 10 minutes. We're brought to you by Granite Credit Union's new Dividend Plus checking account. Ricky, the latest?
Northbound I-15 bogged down from 4500 south to the 6 South exit, but it's southbound I-15. One long, slow drive, and that's from 33rd South to 146 South. We are starting to see a little improvement on the 201, but it's still busy and a little slow from Redwood Road to Bangerter Highway. Mark?
It's been very heavy in Utah County on southbound I-15. Had some earlier trouble to cause some early rush hour delays. Right now, it is heavy. Lehigh Main Street down to Geneva Road. Doesn't look like we have any major northbound delays coming up Springville, Provo to Point of the Mountain. On the west side, it's already getting pretty tight on Bangerter Highway prior to 90th South. Down to Shields Lane and Bangerter is very heavy as well, coming from the airport down to California Avenue. Steve.
Got a fresh crash in Salt Lake right now on 3rd West at 5th South. We have slowdowns on southbound Foothill between Mario Capecchi Drive and Foothill Village. I-15, pretty good shape, leaving downtown just a bit thick through Centerville, heading north. After that, good speeds up to Brigham City. For South Weaver drivers, delays on northbound 89, still packed in, bogged down at SR 193. Good speeds, though, on Legacy, but delays on northbound 215's West Belt, heading north from I-80. Cypress, for a top-quality kitchen or bath with top-quality craftsmanship, call 3-Day Kitchen and Bath. They're always on time with no delays and meet all deadlines. Visit 3daykitchen.com. Steve Carlson in the KSL Traffic Center.
Well, it's been a beautiful day with temperatures well above normal in the upper 50s. Tonight, mostly clear and 33. Hazy sunshine and 56 on Wednesday. Air quality will be moderate in some cases, but a series of storms coming will help things. First wave will come in Thursday morning, a chance for a little valley rain, mountain snow. Then a stronger storm gets here Thursday night into Friday. That will bring snowfall to the valleys and the mountains of northern Utah. From the KSL Weather Center, I'm Kevin Eubank.
And right now, 55 degrees. It was quite the Salt Lake County Council meeting today as they talked about gender-specific bathrooms. Stay with us. Amy Kobabe joins me. We'll go in-depth coming up on KSL. We're streaming online at KSLNewsRadio.com in your car, 102.7 FM. We're Utah's news, traffic, and weather station. It's 442.
You know, people can tell you that you're special, but Hercules Credit Union puts words into action. Let Hercules Credit Union treat you extra special with this limited time special deal. Open a new checking account and Hercules Credit Union will upgrade you to a premier status checking account free of monthly fees. Also, receive $150 cash when you open a premier checking account with direct deposit and Visa debit card, and $100 more when you open any type of loan product or a Visa credit card within 30 days of account opening. Your account has ultimate identity theft protection, travel benefits and perks, cellular care coverage, accidental damage, gas, and grocery gift cards. And yeah, there's a whole lot more. Start at HerculesCU.com and learn how to qualify for a free premier checking account for a limited time because you are special. HerculesCU.com. Hercules Credit Union, growing stronger together. All accounts insured to $250,000 by NCUA.
At Intermountain Primary Children's Hospital, we made a bold promise to build the nation's model health system for children. Join us in realizing our vision for the future of pediatric care. So together, we can expand primary children's impact and ensure every child has access to the right care at the right place at the right time. For a century, Primary Children's has kept the child first and always. Help us continue to do so for the next 100 years. To get involved, visit primarypromise.org.
What's holding you back from learning the language you've always wanted to know?
Too hard. Takes too long.
Not with Babbel. Babbel's lessons take just 15 minutes a day.
15 minutes isn't long.
Nope. And they're fun. So you don't realize you're learning a language, but you are. In 3 weeks, you're able to start having conversations. And Babbel's lessons are built around real life.
And with Babbel, it isn't hard. It's perfect.
Now try Babbel free. Just go to Babbel.com. That's BABBEL.com.
Holiday Stories from Shane Company customers.
It's our first Christmas together, and I wanted to get her something special. That's why I went to Shane Company. They had so many great gifts to choose from. It was a toss-up between hoop earrings and an emerald bracelet. So I got both, one for under the tree and one for her stocking.
Shop holiday gifts in every price range. Fine jewelry crafted with care and made to last a lifetime. 'Tis the season to shine. Shane Company. Fine jewelry since 1929.
Join us on the community's #1 resource for news and fair, enlightening talk.
Listening to Dave and Debbie talk about the Israeli conflict was not one-sided. I really appreciate that.
Listen between 9 and noon each weekday
on KSL News Radio.
KSL News Time 4:45. The three things you need to know this hour. First,
2 Millard County Sheriff's Office deputies are facing criminal charges after allegedly sweeping a domestic violence complaint under the rug because one of the officers was intimately involved with the suspect. KSL News Radio's Hugo Ricardville.
Second, the governor released the state's budget proposal today. Nearly $30 billion worth of budget, no tax increases, and no tax cuts. Third, our biggest traffic trouble spot.
We've had an accident called out downtown 5th South at 300 West. And then for those northbound on Highway 89, heavy and slow from SR 193 up to the I-84 junction. Some southbound delays on 89 into the Uinta and South Weber area as well. Ricky Meese in the KSL Traffic Center.
Sunny and beautiful today with temperatures in the upper 50s. I'm Kevin Eubank.
It's 54 degrees now. KSL's top national stories from ABC News.
ABC
ABC News, I'm Daria Albinger. A lot of nominations approved in just one vote.
46, 47, 48, 49, 50.
Majority Leader Chuck Schumer as the Senate confirms the military promotions at once, just hours after Alabama's Tommy Tuberville lifted his blockade the Republican had been protesting, a Pentagon policy on abortions. More than a month after a trickle of foreign nationals left Gaza by the Rafah crossing, the State Department is now saying more than 1,000 Americans are trying to get out. House Republicans negotiating with the White House over Speaker Mike Johnson's plan to tie funding for Ukraine to U.S. border security.
Without border security, the votes don't exist in the House, not with House Republicans.
Florida GOP Byron Donalds. The Speaker says the House will hold a formal vote to authorize an impeachment inquiry into President Biden. The White House pledging $3 billion to start laying track for high-speed rail between Las Vegas and L.A. This is ABC News.
Time for the KSL In-Depth. Salt Lake County Council is considering a proposal that would require gender-specific locker rooms at rec centers. KSL News Radio's Amy Kobe has been following the story today, and she's joining me live now in the newsroom. Amy, what is this proposal?
So very basically a requirement that the rec centers have to have locker rooms for males only, females only. Also requires a gender-neutral area like a private changing room. It actually mentions that those private changing rooms are preferred, but of course, you have some older rec centers in the county, so it's not like they can just build a bunch of those private spaces. So requiring male only, female only.
Okay. So how do they enforce this if they implement this?
That is the big question. It spells out clearly in the proposal that there are a couple of options for the director of the Division of Parks and Rec to be in charge of enforcement. Mentions that they could ask for an ID. Also, they could kick someone out if they are breaking the rules. They're in a bathroom that doesn't match the gender on that ID.
So what was the reaction like in today's county council meeting when they talked about this? I mean, kids use the rec centers, and you'd imagine that people were probably passionate.
Absolutely. It was a packed county council meeting. Dozens of people filled the seats in the actual room. I noticed about 100 people online making comments as well. And they varied from people saying that this was transphobic to others saying this is an important step to protect women's spaces. Very interesting. One councilman, David Alvred, said that this is needed because the county's non-discrimination policy means that there's basically a loophole. They can't discriminate. They can't tell a man right now that they cannot be in the women's bathroom. So he says we need to create some sort of proposal, something to say that that space is just for women, that space is just for men. Some of the responses from his fellow council members were, why don't we just have specific hours where someone can change in those? So if kids are a concern, well, kids are in school right now, and they wouldn't be seeing any kind of nudity. So some different things that could come up possibly in some future county council meetings.
I'm thinking about one case involving high school sports where one parent said, I don't believe she's a girl, and there was a whole thing about whether this female athlete was female. And you could have that potentially coming up in the county at these rec centers. Was there any discussion of that during this meeting?
There was some concern about that in the public comments. And then Laurie Stringham actually very passionately said this is going to lead to a lawsuit. There's going to be something like what you just said, and it's going to come against the county because of this policy. She said, we don't need to fight this right now. We can't afford for this to go to the Supreme Court, because it's just not worth it for us to put this policy in place right now over that, because that exact situation is going to come up.
You reported today they're not taking any action at this time, but what's next for this proposal?
The proposal is tabled, so it has not been killed, so likely back for discussion. There is a possibility it could just be a policy change, so still really up in the air as far as what this will end up as, but definitely it's going to come back.
All right. Thanks a lot. KSL News Radio's Amy Kobe. Apparently, more to come. KSL News Time 4:50. Right now, it's traffic and weather together every 10 minutes. We're brought to you by Granite Credit Union's new Dividend Plus checking account. Here's Ricky Meese.
If you're headed southbound on I-15, you're likely stuck in delays, but you have a beautiful sunset to get you home. The slowdowns go from 33rd South to 146 South. Northbound I-15 really bogged down, and that's from about 3500 South to the 6 South exit. Some slowing westbound on the 201 from I-15 to the West Belt, and then also eastbound I-80. That has filled in and slowed down from Bangerter to I-215. Mark?
You have another wreck in Utah County this afternoon, dispatched about 5 minutes ago from UDOT, northbound I-15 off-ramp at University Parkway in Orem. That's kind of been a hot spot. Southbound, worst of the delays go Lehigh Main Street down to about Geneva Road, and you got some northbound delays through Orem 8th North as well. Steve?
We have Salt Lake City PD clearing up a crash right now. It's on 3rd West at about 5th South. We have slowdowns on southbound Foothill Drive between Wacara Way and Foothill Village. For those on northbound I-15 leaving out from downtown, northbound starting to fill in now from downtown into North Salt Lake. And in Davis County, Sunset to Roy, westbound SR 193, 700 South, still pretty tight and slow past the base over to I-15. And northbound 89 still bogged down at SR 193. Same for the southbound side coming down the hill there through Uinta to I-84. Renew your smile with Grandpa's Dental. Grandpa's Dental offers cosmetic and routine dentistry. Visit grandpasdental.com for a location near you. That's grandpasdental.com. Steve Carlson, the KSL Traffic Center.
The KSL 7-day forecast has a beautiful start with lots of sunshine. Temperatures have been in the upper 50s today. Tonight, mostly clear and 33. We'll go to 56 under mostly sunny and hazy skies on our Wednesday. A storm will move in early Thursday. It's a weak brush by, some valley rain and mountain snow in northern Utah. But a stronger storm gets here Thursday night into Friday. That's going to bring 1 to 3 inches of valley snow, 3 to 6 inches on the benches, and how about 8 to 16 inches for the northern mountains. Saturday in between, partly cloudy and 38. Then another little storm Sunday into Monday has a chance to bring a little bit more rain and snow. From the KSL Weather Center, I'm Kevin Eubank.
Your 7-day brought to you by Performance Automotive Bountiful. It's 54 degrees at 4:53.
Jeff Kaplan's Afternoon News, only on KSL News Radio.
You my little boo thing, so I'll give a hoot what you do. Say, girl, I know you a little too tame. I'll be shooting that shot like 2K, girl, I know. Tell 'em I'm that. The best of my love. Oh, oh, oh. The best of my love. Oh, oh. Put a little gold in the teeth and the fit good, so I took the doors out the deep. Okay, I see a brother holding your seat.
Utes fans, want to show your support for the team and win a Ram 1500 truck? I mean, a truck just like the one the Utes are driving? All you have to do is download the app for Utes fans. It's the Crimson Collective's Utah FTW 360. It's a free download from your app store, and once you have it, you're automatically entered to win a Ram 1500 at the end of the year. And there are other prizes along the way, like tickets and signed merch and that truck. Now, once you're on the Crimson Collective Utah FTW 360 app, it's a place to find exclusive video content about Utes football, highlights, interviews, and more. The best part, the money generated by the app goes to the NIL pool. Name, image, likeness money that benefits the players themselves. If you're a Utes fan, take it to the next level and maybe win a Ram 1500. They'll also cover a lot of Ute teams like Lady Utes basketball. Download the Crimson Collective's Utah FTW 360. It's in the App Store. By the way, FTW for the win.
This time of year can be a lot, and it's natural to feel some sadness or anxiety about it. But adding something new and positive to your life can counteract some of those feelings. Therapy can be a bright spot amid all of the stress and change. Something to look forward to make you feel grounded, and to give you the tools to manage everything going on. Learning positive coping skills and how to set boundaries. It empowers you to be the best version of yourself. It isn't just for those who've experienced major trauma. If you're thinking of starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. Just fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist, and switch therapists at any time for no additional charge. Find your bright spot this season with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/Salt Lake today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/Salt Lake, and get 10% off your first month. Advertising used to be simple. Your options were radio, TV, newspaper, and let's not forget the yellow pages. Now it seems like a tidal wave of options.
Podcast, cable TV, streaming, OTT, CTV, audio network, smart speakers. On top of that, you need digital marketing for your website along with SEM, SEO, display, video, YouTube, email, and all the social media platforms.
Look, you're the expert in your business. Wouldn't it be nice to have an expert to market you? We are Bonneville Salt Lake, the local marketing and media company you know and trust. We reach customers across all digital and social platforms and have the reach of traditional advertising available as well. We find your customer anytime, any place, anywhere on any device here in Utah or anywhere in the world. We work to optimize your results with our in-house local team of experts, providing you with qualified leads, not just impressions. Contact Todd Larson at KSL for a free consultation, including a complete digital audit with no obligation or cost to you. Call 801-244-4822, 801-244-4822.
We're watching Utah's Money, brought to you by Utah First Credit Union on Wall Street. The Dow is down 79 points today. The S&P only down 2, while the Nasdaq was up 44 points.
God, I'm so stressed about my business not being ready for the holidays.
Ooma.
What is that? Meditation?
I'm recommending the Ooma cloud phone system with auto attendant and more than 35 features.
Ooma?
Yep. Switching to Ooma is a cinch. Starts at $19.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Ooma.
Now you're feeling it. Visit Ooma.com. That's OOMA.com to learn more. Ooma. Smart communications for the smarter business.
Dell's Cyber Monday event is their biggest sale of the year. Shop limited time deals on laptops like the stylish, innovative XPS 13, engineered to do it all on the Intel Evo platform. Plus, save big on ultra-sharp monitors and top brand accessories. It's the perfect time to upgrade any home, business, or gaming setup powered by Intel Core processors. Shop now at Dell.com/deals to take advantage of huge savings and free shipping. Again, that's Dell.com/deals.
Attention Wasatch Front businesses and property managers. Don't wait for bad weather to schedule professional snow service with GoPave Utah. Your complete parking lot safety starts at GoPaveUtah.com.
O'Reilly. Cleaning your fuel system can help your engine run better and improve gas mileage. Visit O'Reilly Auto Parts and pick up a bottle of Chevron Techron Fuel System Cleaner. On sale now. Buy one, get one free. Plus get 2 times O Rewards points. Get more fuel-saving tips from the professional parts people at your local O'Reilly Auto Parts or visit O'ReillyAuto.com.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Any Hour Services can help you make sure your furnace keeps you warm this winter. Whether you need a tune-up, a repair, or a second opinion about replacing it, call Any Hour Services or visit anyhourservices.com.
Traffic and weather together every 10 minutes. We're brought to you by Granite Credit Union's new Dividend Plus checking account. And here's Ricky Meese.
Delays southbound I-15 from South Salt Lake through Draper. Northbound I-15 bogged down from 33rd South to 6th South. Southbound on the West Belt, patches of slowing.
Association and Live Fierce Take Action sponsor Optum urge you to get your flu shot today. Learn more at heart.org/flu. Steve Carlson in the KSL Traffic Center.
Down to the freezing mark overnight for tomorrow. Sunshine, smog up to 52. A chance of rain Thursday. KSL quarters for Christmas time. 4:59.
KSL FM Midvale.
KSL Salt Lake City.
Listen at home on any smart speaker.
And in your car at 102.7 FM.
This is KSL News Radio.
Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
This is the 5 o'clock report, 20 minutes of uninterrupted news, commercial free. I'm Jeff Caplan. KSL's top story. A proposal to require sex-specific changing rooms at Salt Lake County rec centers is now on hold after a heated public comment section today at the county council meeting. KSL News Radio's Amy Kobabe joins us live with details. Amy.
Jeff, dozens of people packed into the county council meeting this afternoon, both strongly in support and opposed.
Everyone has rights, and our children should have rights to be safe when they go in the locker rooms and the bathrooms in the Salt Lake County facilities.
This ordinance fails at its own stated goal and creates yet more oppression and harm for trans people, who are some of the most vulnerable members of our community already.
This possible ordinance would also require a gender-neutral third option for anyone who wants it. So why is this needed? There's currently a non-discrimination policy in the county, and Councilman David Alvord says that has created a loophole to let a man enter the women's locker room.
There could be no recourse if a cis male
went into the women's locker room. Fully heterosexual, cis male.
Councilwoman Laurie Stringham became emotional, actually saying that this would end up being litigated.
This is an issue for the courts and the state legislature, not one right for action this time by this county, because A, we can't afford it.
Reporting live, Amy Kobabe, KSL News Radio.
Governor Cox has unveiled his budget for the coming fiscal year, the biggest budget in Utah history. It includes a chunk of money to help make it easier for young Utahns to buy a first home.
Governor Cox wants to build 35,000 new starter homes by 2028.
The single greatest threat to the future prosperity of our state is the price of a home.
To help combat that problem, the governor wants to invest $150 million, most of it going towards infrastructure for water, sewer, and roads, some of the biggest barriers to building new homes, as well as a program where first-time Utah homebuyers can get a loan to help them with things like their down payment or closing costs.
This is about our kids. This is about our future. This is about the American dream and the Utah dream.
Change his proposal any way they want come January. We told you yesterday the governor's budget plan includes like $180 million to help the homeless. Today, Scott Howell with Solutions Utah told Dave and Dejanovic that new funding is important, but so is accountability.
We need a data metrics and a measurement, a dashboard monthly that shows how many people we've gotten back into work, how many people we've gotten back into mental health recovery.
Howell says the state should reward service providers who step up and can show how they're helping people. The fighting has intensified in Gaza. Maria Chaleos is live at the KSL National News Desk.
Jeff, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu telling his people that the only way to bring home the rest of the hostages is through massive military force. In a national address, he also expressed outrage over the failure of human rights groups to condemn Hamas for the alleged rape and mutilation of Israeli women.
I expect all civilized leaders, governments, nations to speak up against this atrocity.
An Israeli general describes the fighting today as the most intense since the onset of the military operation. Hundreds of Pentagon promotions held up for almost a year by one Republican senator have now been confirmed by the Senate.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. The ayes appear to have it. The ayes do have it. The nominations are confirmed.
It took just a matter of minutes this afternoon, hours after Senator Tommy Tuberville announced his decision to lift his blockade on military nominations. Tuberville has been protesting a Pentagon policy ensuring abortion access for service members. And House Speaker Mike Johnson claims the White House is stonewalling the investigation into President Biden's involvement in his son's business dealings. Johnson says the House has no choice but to formally adopt an impeachment inquiry.
This vote is not a vote to impeach President Biden. This is a vote to continue the inquiry of impeachment.
The White House says the president did nothing wrong. Live from the KSL National News Desk, I'm Maria Chaleos, KSL News Radio.
Math scores around the world are dropping, with the U.S. dropping more than other countries. Researchers say 15-year-olds in the U.S. scored below students in the U.K., Australia, and Germany, as well as below kids in Singapore, South Korea, and even Estonia. American students scored above average internationally on reading and science. KSL News Time, 5:05. First look traffic on the 5 o'clock report. Here's Ricky Meese.
Delays continue southbound I-15 in Utah County from Lehigh Main Street to Linden. And then for those on northbound I-15, it is bogged down and slow. That's from South Salt Lake, 33rd South, all the way to the North Interchange in North Salt Lake. And then more heavy and slow traffic leaving Clearfield all the way to Riverdale Road. Also seeing some signs of slowing southbound on the West Belt, scattered from Salt Lake through West Valley. Ricky Meese, the KSL Traffic Center.
Thanks, Ricky. KSL News Time, 5:06. The families of American hostages held in Gaza took to Capitol Hill today, begging Congress to help them get their loved ones back. Moshe Lavi says all they know for sure is that his brother-in-law Omri was alive a week ago.
More than a week has passed, and we all know that every second in captivity is eternity.
He spoke to the House Foreign Affairs Committee today. The presidents of Harvard, MIT, and the University of Pennsylvania are promising to increase security on campus and provide more counseling for students to combat hate crimes and harassment. That comes as critics accuse them of allowing anti-Semitic rhetoric to flourish on college campuses. Eyal Yacobi is a student at the University of Pennsylvania.
I refuse to go back to 1939 when Jews had to hide their religious symbols and hide who they are due to the intimidation and harassment of us.
The university administrators testified today before the House Education Committee. More charges are expected in the case of a former U.S. diplomat charged with spying for Cuba.
Former American Ambassador Victor Manuel Rocha could be hit with new charges after already being arraigned on charges of spying for the Cuban government dating back to the early 1980s. He was arrested Friday in Miami after allegedly bragging about his secret life as an intelligence operative for Cuba, while also serving in various U.S. capacities with the State Department and as an ambassador to Bolivia and Argentina. The FBI claims Rocha, in his own words, called the U.S. the enemy. ABC News learning the Justice Department plans to go before a grand jury to secure more charges this week. Derek Dennis, ABC News.
For the Vice President of the United States, a history-making moment in the Senate today.
Vice President Harris cast her 32nd tie-breaking vote in the Senate Tuesday, a new record, with her vote to advance the nomination of Lauren Ali Khan to be a U.S. District Court judge for the District of Columbia. Harris officially surpassed Vice President John C. Calhoun, who cast his 31st tie-breaking vote in the Senate all the way back in 1832. To mark the historic vote, Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer presented Vice President Harris with a small golden gavel. Karen Travers, ABC News, Washington.
KSL News Time, 5:08. This is My Minute of News, brought to you by Any Hour Services, electrical, plumbing, heating, and air, anyhourservices.com. How's your marriage doing? Hopefully it's filled with wonder as you meander through life married to your best friend, living as lovers and equals, sharing milestones with warm smiles. But if you're not happily married, I'm looking at this study from Israel, and it's not good.
There must be 50 ways to leave your lover.
Not so fast. Hang on here. This study from Israel is a survey among men who claimed they were unhappy in their marriages. 21% of them, 1 out of 5, died of premature death. Now, reflexively, you hear a statistic like that and you think you gotta get out of this rough marriage. We're conditioned to walk away from less than fulfilling situations. Heck, the music industry is sitting on piles and piles of money made from breakup songs. It's true there aren't as many songs about marriage counseling and sticking it out. Well, the late Al Green had one, but he was an actual reverend, so this counts as counseling.
Ooh, baby, let's stay together.
If you languish in a relationship that fails to satisfy, and if the grass seems greener on the other side, I don't have any answers. But I do have another research study right here. It says that single men have worse BO than married men. 82 women smelled men's used T-shirts, and the results were definitive. Single men have a stronger odor. Perhaps it's a whiff of desperation. Maybe not. But if your marriage ain't all that, this study shows definitively this song is wrong.
Love stinks.
Guys, love does not stink. But there's definitive proof the absence of love does.
Jeff Kaplan's Minute of News, only on KSL News Radio.
Okay, traffic and weather together every 10 minutes. We're brought to you by Granite Credit Union's new Dividend Plus checking. And here's Ricky Meese.
A little bit of heavy and slow traffic on I-215 South Belt. This is going westbound from Fort Union over to State. Southbound I-15 remains just a really slow drive from Murray through Draper. Northbound I-15 heavy and slow South Salt Lake to downtown, and the 201 seeing delays westbound between I-15 and the West Belt. Mark?
Well, found your crash in Utah County northbound I-15 into the ramp from University Parkway or merging onto I-15. It is heavy there. It's heavy southbound Lehigh Main Street to Geneva Road. Pioneer Crossing delay stretch I-15 towards 5th West and then 5600 West. Mountain View, Bankett are all heavy between California Avenue and into West Valley 3500 South. Steve.
Well, we have northbound 15 delays from downtown into North Salt Lake this afternoon. Also in Davis County from Sunset up to Roy. Delays on northbound 215's West Side Belt Route from 5th South now up to North Temple. In Davis County, we have slowdowns westbound SR 193, 7 up to South. Still pretty tight there and slow past the base to I-15. And delays on northbound 89 at SR 193 and on the southbound side through Uinta down the hill to I-84. It's IFA's Fall-A-Day sale now through December 24th. Get one-day-only specials on gardening, lawn care, and farm essentials. Plus, go to holiday gifts at ifa.coop. Steve Carlson in the KSL Traffic Center.
As we head through the 5 o'clock hour, sunny skies, little valley haze with temperatures in the low 50s. We'll drop into the upper 40s by 6 o'clock, mid 40s by 7, with low 40s by 8 and 9. Ultimate lows will be in the low 30s. With your hourly forecast on the 5 o'clock report, I'm Kevin Eubank.
52 degrees, sunrise tomorrow morning at 7:37 a.m. KSL News Time 5:12. And we go in depth now with Maria Chaleos.
Jeff, researchers in South Africa say they've rediscovered a species of mole that hasn't been seen for more than 80 years. It was thought to be extinct. Now the mole has an iridescent golden coat and the ability to almost swim through the sand dunes. Now the De Winton's golden mole was found to be still alive on a beach on the west coast of South Africa. It's a small, blind burrower with super hearing powers that eats insects, and researchers say it's been lost to science since 1936. But with the help of a sniffer dog, the team found traces of tunnels, and they discovered the mole in 2021. But because there are 21 species of these moles, they had to be certain. So they took the environmental DNA samples, but they had to wait until 2022 before a De Winton's DNA sample from decades ago was made available by a South African museum so they could compare them. Well, they've compared them now. The research has been published because the DNA sequences were a match. Jeff?
Super mole, right?
Yes.
Thanks, Maria. KSL News Time 5:13. Salt Lake City police are asking residents of the ballpark neighborhood to check their doorbell and other security cameras because somebody stole multiple pride flags sometime between Sunday night and Monday morning. Whoever did it also damaged at least one fence. The police department's investigating this as a possible hate crime. 2 Millard County Sheriff's deputies are facing criminal charges after allegedly sweeping a domestic violence complaint under the rug. According to KSL legal analyst Greg Skordas, this is a serious offense.
Not the kind of charges that you would necessarily expect someone to go to prison for, but in the law enforcement community, any of these charges, even the misdemeanors, could result in the loss of their certification to practice law enforcement in the state of Utah.
Court documents say this all started when the suspect reportedly threatened to stab someone and then proceeded to do donuts in the victim's driveway. We have the numbers for the most searched subjects on Wikipedia this year, raking in more than 84 billion views this year, Wikipedia, according to the numbers released today. The most popular article was about ChatGPT. The second most read article this year, the annual list of significant deaths, which included Lisa Marie Presley and Matthew Perry. The 2023 Cricket World Cup took third place on Wikipedia. KSL News Time 5:14. The 3 things you need to know this hour. First,
Attorney General Mike Lee. The senator's name is on a short list of prospects floated by allies of former President Donald Trump in the event of a second chance at the White House. I'm KSL News Radio's Becky Bruce.
Second, Governor Cox has proposed the biggest budget in Utah state history, nearly $30 billion. The legislature will take it up early next year. Third, our biggest traffic trouble spot.
We still have a long, slow drive on I-15 in Utah County. For southbounders, it starts in Lehigh just before the Main Street exit and continues all the way to Linden. But then if you're traveling westbound on the 201, it's also slow from I-15 to the West Belt. Ricky Meese in the KSL Traffic Center.
Near record warmth with plenty of sunshine. I'm Kevin Eubank.
52 degrees now. KSL's top national stories.
From ABC News, I'm Daria Albinger. The IDF's ground offensive has expanded to the second largest city in Gaza.
The IDF is in the heart of Khan Yunis. They are also in the heart of Jabalia. They say they have been engaging with terror targets there. And in fact, the IDF saying that today was the most intense day of fighting since the beginning of this ground operation. They say both in terms of the firepower, both by land and by air, and in terms of the numbers of Hamas militants killed.
ABC's Inez de la Quatera in Tel Aviv. He said what? President Biden catching some supporters off guard.
It was a stunning comment. The president, according to poll reports, telling a close to the public fundraiser, quote, "If Trump wasn't running, I'm not sure I'd be running, but we cannot let him win." President Biden's advisors telling ABC News Mr. Biden was simply making it clear the threat he thinks Donald Trump poses to democracy. Earlier this year, the president told ABC's Mary Bruce that he thought he would want another 4 more years, even if Mr. Trump was not in the race.
ABC's Andy Field in Washington. House Speaker Mike Johnson drawing a red line when it comes to aid to Ukraine.
We're in negotiations on that right now. I'll just tell you that any national security package has to begin with the security of our own border.
Johnson, writing in a letter to the White House, said he will not pass Ukraine aid unless there are actual changes to border law. The Senate confirming hundreds of military nominations today in a matter of minutes. Majority Leader Chuck Schumer.
One thing I would say, Senator Tuberville, I hope no one does this again.
Alabama Republican Tommy Tuberville had blocked the nominations for months to protest a Pentagon abortion policy. A former Colorado police officer pleading guilty to a count of reckless endangerment, Pablo Vasquez will serve 12 months of unsupervised probation after admitting to parking his patrol car on railroad tracks with a woman inside who was handcuffed. She was seriously injured when that vehicle was hit by a freight train. You're listening to ABC News.
Time for the KSL In-Depth now. Fresh from her run for Congress, Becky Edwards is right back at it, re-entering the world of politics, launching a new political action committee. Her PAC is called the Governing Group. Edwards joined Inside Sources and says this PAC is an attempt to address challenges she experienced on the campaign trail.
Being around the state and hearing people's stories where they're saying, I actually thought about running for office, but this is a barrier, or I'm concerned about this, or I don't know how to address this. And seeing that there were, and a lot of these individuals who talked to me were women. And I saw that there were some unique challenges there. And so this idea of starting something as a way to help support people who had very good capacity, but maybe didn't have the resources they needed, that's been germinating since the Senate campaign. And then now I've got some bandwidth to actually pull it together. So we're launching today. We're excited to have this political action committee that's going to bring resources, not just financial, although that's very helpful, but also manpower.
Becky Edwards says she knows how important it can be to depend on people with more experience when starting a campaign for the first time.
When I ran for the first time for the Utah House in 2008, I depended on folks in my community who were there for me and said, here's some ideas. And boy, I held on to those ideas and tried my best to do what we could in a very grassroots way in my first election. But lots changed since 2008. Things are more complex. Issues are thornier. They're harder. And I think the political divide has just become more and more challenging.
Edwards' goal is to raise $50,000 to distribute in the 2024 election cycle. You've been listening to the In-Depth Now. Traffic and weather together every 10 minutes. We're brought to you by Granite Credit Union's new Dividend Plus checking account. Here's Ricky Meese.
Accidents southbound I-215's West Belt by California Avenue, but they have been moved over to the right shoulder. Part of the delay, though, that you'll see as you go from the I-80 junction almost to Taylorsville, and then on I-215 southbound, that's bogged down going westbound almost from Highland Drive over to State Street. Delays continue southbound I-15 Murray through Draper, and northbound I-15 still heavy, and that's South Salt Lake to the ballpark area, about 1300 south. Mark?
KSL traffic trooper reporting a flashing signal on SR 92 at 12th West and at SR 92. So as a result, traffic's back to I-15. Northbound wreck in Utah County into the ramp from University Parkway Orem, merging onto I-15s, causing delays. Southbound traffic prior to Lehigh Main Street down to Geneva Road, and then Bangor Highway's been very rough, basically between Kearns and California Avenue, and then 70th South down to 9800 South as well. Steve.
Long, slow ride if you're on southbound Foothill Drive tonight between Mario Capecchi Drive out to 21st South. Northbound 15 delays from downtown up to Warm Springs Road. Davis County slowdowns a little bit thick there at 5600 South and Roy. Also delays on northbound 215's West Belt from 5th South up to North Temple. And we have delays on southbound Highway 89 through Uinta all the way from Harrison Boulevard down to the I-84 Rams. The best batteries for your vehicle, RV, or ATV start at Intermountain Battery. Call today before the cold snaps your battery, 801-266-7465. Steve Carlson, the KSL Traffic Center.
The KSL 7-day forecast has some warm temperatures and then a storm. Today, we've been in the 50s with lots of sunshine. Clear and 33 overnight, mostly sunny, a little hazy, and 56 for the high on Wednesday. Storm system will move in early Thursday morning. A little brush by, some valley rain and mountain snow. But a stronger storm gets here Thursday night into Friday. That will bring 1 to 3 inches of snow to the valleys, 3 to 6 on the benches, and 8 to 16 in the northern mountains. Partly cloudy, 38 on Saturday, and then another storm system looks to brush by Sunday into early Monday with another chance for some light snow. From the KSL Weather Center, I'm Kevin Eubank.
Your 7-day forecast brought to you by Performance Automotive Bountiful. It's 52 degrees. We'll check on the market close next on KSL News Radio. It's 5:22.
This is Derek Miller speaking on business. The Utah Associated Municipal Power System, called UAMPS for short, provides nonprofit electrical services to community-owned electrical systems throughout the Intermountain West. Here's Government Affairs Director Mike Squires with more.
UAMPS provides energy to communities in Utah, Idaho, Nevada, New Mexico, Arizona, California, and Wyoming. As the energy landscape continues to shift, UAMPS remains firmly focused on providing clean, reliable, and cost-effective power to its member communities. Most notably, UAMPS is leading the nation, and indeed the world, in its development of a small modular nuclear reactor. This facility will be capable of providing a 24/7 supply of carbon-free power and complement UAMPS's growing renewable energy footprint. Engineers say it should provide virtually uninterrupted power for 60 years. The project's ability to be sited where existing coal-fired power plants now sit will harness existing transmission lines and provide jobs to workers throughout rural America. Innovative projects such as this, using a realistic all-of-the-above approach to energy development and a commitment to affordable energy for its members, will continue to drive UAMPS's decision-making and efforts.
Electricity from UAMPS small-scale reactors will replace energy from coal plants nearing the end of their life cycle and add to the clean air electricity produced from UAMPS wind and solar projects. I'm Derek Miller with the Salt Lake Chamber, speaking on business.
They say good things come to those who wait, but we both know the truth. If you want the good things in life, you've got to go out and get them. So if you've been dreaming of a Cadillac, don't wait. Head to Jerry Seiner Cadillac and get one for yourself. With their award-winning XT4, 5, and 6 models available on-site and the area's top selection of certified pre-owned Cadillacs, there's no need to wait to drive in luxury. Stop dreaming, start driving. Visit Jerry Seiner and experience the Seiner difference.
Guns. Rocky Mountain Gun Shows.
Don't miss the Rocky Mountain Gun Show Saturday and Sunday, December 9th and 10th at the Mountain America Expo Center in Sandy. One of the largest wholesale ammo distributors will be at the show with all calibers available and no limit on quantity. Get 500 rounds of 9mm ammo for just $95. Shop our massive selection of firearms, mags, knives, and outdoor equipment. It's the Rocky Mountain Gun Show, so you know it'll be good.
Rocky Mountain Gun Shows.
Les Olson IT structured cabling is second to none. Tired of old and inefficient cabling? Have an upgrade or remodel planned? Building a new network from the ground up? We offer the very best in low voltage cabling installation, including data, phone, fiber optic, and more. Ask us how to get your free consultation today.
Les Olson IT.
We're watching Utah's Money, brought to you by Utah First Credit Union. U.S. oil production is at a record high. Oil prices are down nearly 20%. Two big reasons the U.S. is producing so much, and China is suffering an economic downturn, so they don't need as much oil. There you go, supply and demand. And the result, gas is down to an average $3.06 a gallon here in Utah. Wells Fargo says it plans to lay off a lot of workers next year, and severance is going to be pricey. The bank's CEO says the severance could cost them up to $1 billion in the fourth quarter. On Wall Street today, the Dow is down 79 points. It closed at 36,124. The S&P was also down, but only by 2 points, while the NASDAQ gained 44 points. KSL News Time, 5:25. You don't have to have a dog with a special talking collar to understand this next story.
Made me this collar so that I may talk. Squirrel!
The Natural History Museum of Utah is asking you to spend your Saturday morning looking for squirrels. KSL News Radio's Claire Scott reports.
The eastern fox squirrel isn't native to Utah, but its population is steadily growing here. Scientists want to know what that means for Utah's ecosystem. They're asking Utahns to help out and spend as little as 2 minutes looking for squirrels and filling out their observations on a survey. To amp up the attention, the museum hosts Squirrel Fest this month. It's happening right now and lasts until the 10th.
Squirrel Fest. The survey to document the squirrels in your area is open year-round. You can fill it out online or through your phone. KSL News Time 520. Squirrel!
There are so many things that set Euromax cabinets apart from any other cabinet provider. The details can be a bit overwhelming, but let me give you a small sample. Each of their boxes are made from laminate with high-strength pressed wood core. They band all 4 edges of each piece using a waterproof and heat-resistant PUR glue that's the best in the industry. Their process virtually eliminates water damage, chipping, and greatly extends the life of your investment. Their LED lights are inset flush, so they look amazing wherever you put them. Whether it's inside glass cabinets, under the wall cabinets, or in the toe kicks, nothing adds a more luxurious feeling than lighting done correctly. When it comes to the face of your cabinets, the sky's the limit. They have access to all the cutting-edge products in the market. Simply put, the finest cabinet to be built and installed in the state of Utah. Go see their showroom in Pleasant Grove or start shopping their product at EuromaxFurniture.com. That's EuromaxFurniture.com.
When words come out of our mouths and everything sounds fine, no one bats an eye. But if things come out a little jumbled or letters sound different than most, there's speech therapy. But did you know that speech therapy is used for more than just stuttering or disfluency? From articulation to expressive and receptive language to a simple act of swallowing that most of us take for granted, speech therapy can do amazing things for you, your health, and of course your sense of self. That's why Summit Speech Therapy is here. Summit Speech Therapy works with people of all ages, from infants and toddlers who have a difficult time feeding or eating, TBI, stroke, or coma patients, to children and adults with speech problems. So much of it is all related, and Summit Speech Therapy can help. Summit works with all insurance companies as well as private pay options, and the experience can be life-changing. With clinics up and down the Wasatch Front, including Murray, with no long waiting for an appointment. For more, visit summitslp.com. That's summitslp.com.
Car trouble? Go to Amco Transmissions for all your total car care needs. From check engine lights to funny smells, they've got you covered. They offer free towing around each of their 9 locally owned Utah Amco locations. Let Amco help you get back on the road.
Traffic and weather together every 10 minutes. We're brought to you by Granite Credit Union's new Dividend Plus checking. Here's Ricky Meese.
We have a vehicle fire in West Valley on Constitution Boulevard. That's 2700 West, 3500 South. A stalled vehicle southbound I-215's westbound. It's on the exit ramp at 3500 South. But we do have delays on I-215's west side going southbound from I-80 through West Valley. And then delays linger, and they're pretty heavy at times. Southbound I-15 between 4500 South Murray to Bluffdale. Mark?
It's been very rough. Out west, Mountain View struggling SR 201 to 3500 South. And then Bangor basically between California Avenue and Kearns. It's got some long delays. Going to hit it again, 7800 South to 9800 South. And then in Utah County, all kind of delays. Southbound now going back 2100 North Lehigh to Geneva Road. And then northbound wreck up around University Parkway to Orem is causing some backups as well. Steve?
Well, southbound Foothill Drive in slow motion tonight between Mario Kopecki Drive and 21st South. Crash free, though, on northbound 15 out of downtown with delays up through Rose Park. And at Davis County, Sunset to Roy. Delays on northbound 215's West Belt from 5th South to North Temple. And northbound Legacy now thick through Centerville. Is the IRS harassing you? Are tax problems ruining your life? Let Utah tax attorney Jordan Wilcox help. Visit taxhelput.com. That's taxhelput.com. Steve Carlson in the KSL Traffic Center.
It's been a beautiful day with temperatures up near record-breaking levels. We've been in the upper 50s. A record today is actually 60. Tonight, mostly clear and 33. Hazy sunshine and 56 on Wednesday. A storm system will brush by northern Utah early Thursday, bringing a chance for some morning rain showers. A stronger storm will get here Thursday night, bringing snow into Friday. From the KSL Weather Center, I'm Kevin Eubank.
You're listening to Jeff Kaplan's Afternoon News
on KSL News Radio, 102.7 FM
and 1160 AM.
Good evening, 5:30 at KSL. Jeff Kaplan here. It's 51 degrees. KSL's top story. Gabby Petito's parents say they have proof that Brian Laundrie's parents knew all along that Gabby was dead, that Laundrie told his parents she was gone weeks before anybody knew she was missing. This from an updated lawsuit. It includes details from a deposition that the Petito family was able to get added to the suit. KSL News Radio's Amy Kobabe with details.
Remember, Gabby Petito's mom reported her missing in September 2021, prompting a search in Wyoming. Eventually, her body was found, abandoned in a campground. But now the Petitos allege that Brian Laundrie, Gabby's fiancé and killer, told his parents weeks before that she was gone and he needed a lawyer. Laundrie's parents hired that lawyer, who made a statement during the search that the Laundries hoped Gabby would be found. The Laundries have already lost a $3 million lawsuit to the Petitos. These new allegations are in a separate case ongoing in Florida. Amy Kobabe, KSL News Radio.
2 Millard County Sheriff's deputies are facing criminal charges accused of sweeping a domestic violence complaint under the rug. KSL News Radio's Hugo Ricard-Bell with details.
According to the probable cause affidavit, one of the officers, 45-year-old Richard Warren, was allegedly having an affair with the woman who became the suspect of this domestic violence complaint. The probable cause statement also says law enforcement never completed a series of required questions for victims of domestic violence. Enforcement officers are required to ask these questions to determine if the victim's life is at risk. Both officers involved are charged with obstruction of justice, and that is a felony.
Court documents say this all started when the suspect reportedly threatened to stab someone and then proceeded to do donuts in the victim's driveway. KSL News Time 5:32. Today, Governor Cox unveiled his budget for the coming fiscal year. One new initiative is the prevention of domestic violence. Lieutenant Governor Deidre Henderson says $4 million is allotted to teach about abuse prevention in public schools.
We will continue to prioritize preventing abuse and supporting victims of domestic violence, a priority for our administration and one that's very meaningful to me personally.
The lieutenant governor lost a cousin to a domestic violence-related shooting last year. We have domestic violence resources posted on our website, KSLNewsRadio.com. Heavy fighting in Gaza is creating anxiety for hostage families. Maria Chaleos is live at the KSL National News Desk.
Jeff, families of American hostages being held in Gaza appeared today before the House Foreign Affairs Committee.
Every second is critical, and every minute that goes by, their chances to keep on being alive are decreasing.
Dahlia Kuzner says they got word only last week that her two brothers-in-law were both alive. President Biden saying at a fundraiser today that he's not going to stop pushing till every hostage is freed. The presidents of Harvard, MIT, and the University of Pennsylvania promising to increase security and provide more counseling to combat hate crimes. Before today's hearing before the House Education Committee, University of President and student Eyal Yacobi spoke at a news conference on Capitol Hill.
I refuse to go back to 1939 when Jews had to hide their religious symbols and hide who they are due to the intimidation and harassment of us.
Critics have accused college administrators of allowing anti-Semitic rhetoric to grow as the Israel-Hamas war continues. A grand jury has indicted an off-duty pilot who's accused of trying to shut off the engine of a passenger plane mid-flight. Joseph Emerson, an Alaska Airlines pilot, was indicted on 84 counts, one of those for endangering an aircraft in the first degree, and 83 counts of recklessly endangering passengers on board the October flight. Emerson's attorneys claim Emerson thought that he was in a dream. Live from the KSL National News Desk, I'm Maria Chaleos, KSL News Radio.
Report suggests if former President Trump wins the White House, he would consider Utah's senior senator to serve as Attorney General of the United States. KSL News Radio's Becky Bruce reports.
The buzz comes from an article written by McKay Coppins of The Atlantic. He cited allies of the former president who suggested Senator Mike Lee could be on the short list for AG, along with fellow Senators Ted Cruz and Josh Hawley. The story is part of a series from The Atlantic called If Trump Wins.
The Attorney General heads the Department of Justice. Mr. Trump has said publicly if he wins, he'll use the DOJ to investigate people he claims targeted him for political reasons. KSL News Time 5:35. First look traffic. Ricky Meese to the rescue. What's going on?
We've had a vehicle fire reported at 3500 South Constitution Boulevard. That's 2700 West. And we do have some delays at that intersection, especially going eastbound. Also, another crash called out, and this is at 3500 South, 2300 West. Ricky Meese in the KSL Traffic Center.
Did you get any Amazon deliveries today? Well, stay right here. My Minute of News is on the way. Next on KSL.
Ho, ho, ho. This is Santa Claus from PC Laptops. Would you like to save massive money this holiday season, but don't want to have an anxiety attack fighting crowds? Don't throw out that old computer. We can transform that old computer into high-speed goodness, no matter what brand it is. Just bring in your computer for a free diagnostic and cleaning. We're so awesome at making computers faster that if we can't fix or upgrade your computer, we'll buy it from you. We have brand new lifetime warranty desktop computers starting at only $29 a month. Plus, we'll transfer all your data, your pictures, your documents to your new PC Laptops computer at absolutely no charge, 100% free. To make it impossible to resist, we're doing 0 interest on any PC Laptops computer until 2025. That's a long time for 0 interest. OAC, just check us out at PCLaptops.com. That's PCLaptops.com, where we love you.
At Intermountain Primary Children's Hospital, we made a bold promise to build the nation's model health system for children. Join us in realizing our vision for the future of pediatric care. So together, we can expand primary children's impact and ensure every child has access to the right care at the right place at the right time. For a century, Primary Children's has kept the child first and always. Help us continue to do so for the next 100 years. To get involved, visit primarypromise.org.
This holiday season, celebrate family.
Spending Christmas together.
As Matt and Savannah Shaw present A Shaw Family Christmas with special guest William Joseph. Join the beloved father-daughter duo live in concert on December 8th and 9th at the Eccles Theater in Salt Lake City. For tickets, visit liveattheeccles.com. Presented by Hoops Vision.
Attention Wasatch Front businesses and property managers. Don't wait for bad weather to schedule professional snow service with GoPave Utah. Your complete parking lot safety starts at gopavutah.com.
5:38, and time for My Minute of News. This is My Minute of News, brought to you by Any Hour Services, electrical, plumbing, heating, and air, anyhourservices.com. There it sits in the cold on your doorstep, ignored all day. And when you finally bring that Amazon box inside, you tear it open, then you savagely break it down and relegate it to the recycling bin, never giving a thought to its long, torturous trip to your porch. So a question. Where do all these boxes come from? The New York Times reports that box probably came from someplace like Georgia, when loggers cut down a loblolly pine, a very specific tree that grows in the South with long fibers perfect for cardboard. That big, thick log is shipped to a factory where it's bathed in chemicals, turned into pulp, then it's fed into a giant machine that rumbles like a rocket as the pulp is pressed flat, blasted with steam, scorched with heat, then spooled into giant rolls. Now, to make a corrugated box, the paperboard has to hook up. 2 cardboard liners are sandwiched around a wavy piece of paperboard called a flute. It's held into place by glue made from starch and water, and only then is it folded into a box that you'll quickly forget about. This roundabout trip that starts with a loblolly pine is roughly 2,500 miles from a forest to a mill, to Amazon, to your porch, to the recycling bin, and by the end of today, that journey will be repeated 36 million times. And then again tomorrow.
Jeff Kaplan's Minute of News, only on KSL News Radio.
It's traffic and weather together now, brought to you by Granite Credit Union's new Dividend Plus checking account. Here's Ricky Meese.
Now starting to see some unusual slowdowns. This looks to be on the westbound side of I-80, starting just before Foothill over to 2300 East. Still bogged down westbound I-215 South Belt, Highland over to 7th East. Southbound I-15 delays stretch from 33 1/3 south to Bluffdale. Northbound I-15, a patch of slowing at the point to Bangor, and again from Murray to downtown. And the 201, heavy and slow from I-15 to Bangor, and again at 5600 west to Magna. Mark?
It's been rough in Utah County. Mainly right now it's northbound. Thick delays coming Center Street, Orem up to University Parkway. The on-ramp, there's an accident that should be clearing, and that's the northbound side. The southbound side's been awful as well. Backing 2100 North Lehigh all the way down to Geneva Road. Once you clear Pleasant Grove Boulevard, your speeds do pick up, and you got big delays on Bangor Highway as well. Southbound 7800 South down to 9800 South. Steve.
And some pretty good-sized delays from downtown Salt Lake City if you're on northbound 15 heading into North Salt Lake up into Woods Cross. Also, Clearfield up to Roy. We have delays on northbound 215's west side belt from about 5th South up to North Temple. Heavy traffic on westbound SR 193 still there, 700 South past the base. That's approaching the I-15 ramps. And thick delays on southbound 89 from Harrison Boulevard to I-84. Master storyteller and songwriter Michael McLean will be live on stage with the Forgotten Carols cast in Orem, Ogden, Salt Lake, and Heber. Tickets going fast at ForgottenCarols.com. Steve Carlson in the KSL Traffic Center.
Plenty of sunshine today with a little valley haze, but temperatures skyrocketed into the mid to upper 50s. Tonight, 33 for the low, hazy sunshine, and 56 on our Wednesday. We'll see a storm system move in early Thursday. It'll bring the valleys a little valley rain in the morning and some mountain snow, but a stronger storm will move in overnight Thursday into Friday. That'll bring 1 to 3 inches in the valleys on Friday for snowfall. The mountains ought to get 8 to 16. From the KSL Weather Center, I'm Kevin Eubank.
And it's 49 degrees in Salt Lake City. On the way, BYU basketball pregame comes up at 6 o'clock here on KSL News Radio. We're streaming online at kslnewsradio.com, in your car or at 102.7 FM. This is Utah's news, traffic, and weather station. There is nothing quite like the coziness of Ruth's Chris at holiday time. It's a special time of year, and you deserve to enjoy a special dinner with friends, with family, or just the two of you pausing for a moment in the middle of this busy holiday season. Whether it's Ruth's Chris in downtown Salt Lake, go see the lights, do some shopping, have a magnificent dinner, or head up into the mountains for Ruth's Chris at the award-winning Hotel Park City. It's a warm experience with a friendly waitstaff that'll treat you like royalty and serve you a meal fit for a king. Of course, I would recommend the steak. For me, it's the filet, medium well, a little bit of pink. Best steak ever. Get yours smothered in butter or blue cheese or Oscar style, or order the chicken, the lamb, the seafood, the comfort food side dishes. It makes a magnificent holiday present. 2 locations downtown and in the Hotel Park City. I love Ruth's Chris. You will too.
Do you have chirping smoke detectors? What's up, everybody? I'm Mike Wilson with Any Hour Services, and if you've ever experienced chirping smoke detectors, you already know how annoying it can be. A great first step to try and stop the chirping is to change the batteries. If the chirping continues, it's possible that your smoke detector has gone bad. As a matter of fact, a lot of people don't even realize that manufacturers recommend replacing the smoke detector altogether after 10 years. If you remove the smoke detector from the wall, on the back you should find a date of when it was made. Do a little math and you'll know how old it is. Now, Any Hour Services knows being a homeowner means you've got a list a mile long of things to do around the house, and check my electrical system probably isn't one of them. That's why we've put together this radio special for any homeowners listening. One of our licensed electricians will perform a comprehensive inspection of your electrical system that includes testing those smoke detectors and give you a full written report for only $29. But you have to mention this ad when you call. Call Any Hour Services to schedule it. 801-443-7300. 801-443-7300. Any Hour Services.
Imagine getting ahead of your irritable bowel syndrome with constipation or IBS-C by treating it with Linzess. Then you could start proactively managing your constipation with belly pain and get ahead of your symptoms. Talk to your doctor about Linzess, linaclotide. Linzess is a prescription medicine that treats IBS-C in adults. It's not a laxative. It's a once-daily pill that helps you get ahead of your symptoms. It's proven to help you have more frequent and complete bowel movements and helps relieve overall abdominal symptoms, belly pain, discomfort, and bloating. These symptoms were studied in combination, not individually.
Do not give Linzess to children less than 2. It may harm them. Do not take Linzess if you have a bowel blockage. Get immediate help if you develop unusual or severe stomach pain, especially with bloody or black stools. The most common side effect is diarrhea, sometimes severe. If it's severe, stop taking Linzess and call your doctor right away. Other side effects include gas, stomach area pain, and swelling.
Imagine, what could relief from IBS-C mean for you? Talk to your doctor and say yes to Linzess. Learn more at linzess.com or call 1-800-LINZESS.
KSL News Time, 5:45. The three things you need to know this hour. First,
Utah Governor Spencer Cox wants to invest hundreds of millions of dollars into various projects around the state this coming year. At the top of his list, building more starter homes. I'm KSL News Radio's Adam Small.
second, new allegations in the lawsuit from Gabby Petito's parents. They say there's proof Brian Laundrie's parents knew Gabby was dead weeks before she was reported missing. Third, our biggest traffic trouble spot.
We do have a new accident northbound I-15 in Draper near Bangalore Highway. Has been moved to the shoulder. Also a crash in Salt Lake City. This is on the ramp westbound I-80 at the State Street exit. Ricky Meese in the KSL Traffic Center.
Sunny skies with a little valley haze. I'm Kevin Eubank.
And right now, 48 degrees. Now, KSL's top national stories from ABC News.
ABC News, I'm Daria Albinger. The IDF has entered Gaza's second largest city as its ground offensive spreads south. Israel says the goal is to destroy Hamas. The Senate approves hundreds of military promotions in a matter of minutes.
392, 417, 418, 419, 420.
Majority Leader Chuck Schumer reading the list of nominees moments after Alabama's Tommy Tuberville lifted his blockade. An arrest in the fatal stabbing of a security guard at Macy's in Center City, Philadelphia yesterday.
This is a tragic but also remarkable story of some excellent police work that was done.
DA Tim Krasner says the guard tried to stop suspect Tyrone Tunnell from stealing hats. Tunnell later returned to the store armed with a knife and allegedly killed guard Eric Harrison and wounded another. Stocks closed mixed. Daria Albinger, ABC News.
And now the in-depth on KSL. Salt Lake City's Intermountain Primary Children's Hospital is now home to the 14th Seacrest Studio. It's part of the Ryan Seacrest Foundation. He was there with his sister and special guest Miles Teller for the dedication. KSL TV's Katya Stepovic was there this morning.
This broadcasting studio is over 1,000 square feet, and what happens in here will soon be broadcasted to patient rooms, hopefully bringing a smile to children during a time of healing at Primary Children's Hospital.
I feel like it will just really make a difference to the patients who are here, and yeah, it's just awesome to see that it was really hard when I was in the hospital, but to see that there's another thing that will make kids happy. So yeah, it's just another thing that will make those days a little less sad.
The new studio will be for patients to engage with live musical performances, celebrities, and play games, and even host their own radio or TV show.
To be here in Salt Lake City, this is a place we've been thinking about for a long time. Primary Children's is one of the most exceptional facilities in the country. And when we saw the opportunity to create a two-story massive space with bright light and state-of-the-art equipment, it just felt like the absolute right move.
The broadcast room may be a new feature at Primary Children's, but for Ryan Seacrest, it's a passion project that him and his sister have poured their hearts into and placing them in 14 hospitals around the country.
I wanted to create a destination, a heartbeat, an event space for patients of all ages, totally inclusive. If you're in your bed, you can still watch, you can call in. If you can't get out of your room, you can still be a part of it. And this was the only thing I knew how to do. I've only been around studios and broadcast centers all my life, so that's what we went with.
Some of Seacrest's friends and well-known celebrities also share similar passions in wanting to spread hope to the patients at Primary Children's.
Power of the arts, I think, is therapy, and we've seen the results and what it can really do for their recovery, and just even just giving them something to smile about, I think, is well worth the effort it takes on our part.
The studio will be up and running soon with daily broadcasts. That is KSL TV's Katya Stepovic. It's 5:49 now. Traffic and weather together every 10 minutes. We're brought to you by Granite Credit Union's new Dividend Plus checking account. And here's Ricky Meese.
Delays are steady and still pretty heavy on southbound I-15 going from about 3900 south to Bluffdale. Northbound I-15, we had that accident near Bangor Highway. It's been moved to the shoulder, but we have backups to the point of the mountain. Then more heavy and slow traffic from Murray to about 1300 south. Westbound I-80 a little bogged down. This is from 7th East to State, where we have a crash at the exit ramp. Mark?
A little bit better on Bangor and Mountain View, but still very heavy in the usual spots tonight. I am seeing the delays form SR 36, Lake Point, Stansbury Park, and then on I-15 in Utah County. Worst of the delays southbound 2100 North Lehigh, headed to Geneva Road, and you've had northbound delays coming Orem Center Street up to Pleasant Grove as well. Steve.
Got some backups and brake lines right now on northbound 15 leaving downtown into Woods Cross. Davis County slowdowns farther up, Clearfield up to Roy, and we have delays on northbound 215's West Bell from 5th South up to 700 North. And max delays on southbound 89 tonight heading from Harrison Boulevard through Uinta down the hill to I-84. Two Brothers Mattress, your locally owned Serta mattress dealer. Visit any Two Brothers Mattress location from Salt Lake to Orem. Find sale prices now at twobrothersmattress.com. Steve Carlson in the KSL Traffic Center.
KSL 7-day forecast starts off with some warm temperatures, but we've got a couple of storms to deal with. Tonight, 33 for the low, mostly sunny, hazy, and 56 on Wednesday. A weak storm comes by Thursday morning. That'll bring a chance for some valley rain and mountain snow. Highs will lower into the 40s. A colder storm comes in Thursday night into Friday morning. That's going to bring 1 to 3 inches of valley snow, and how about a foot of mountain snow to northern Utah. Partly cloudy Saturday, kind of an in-between day, then another chance for some scattered rain and snow on Sunday into Monday. From the KSL Weather Center, I'm Kevin Eubank.
Your 7-day forecast brought to you by Performance Automotive Bountiful. We're down to 48 in Salt Lake City, and we'll check the market close in just a moment. Stay right here.
This is Dr. Tamara Sheffield from Intermountain Health with Your Life, Your Health. According to new federal data, Intermountain Medical Center in Murray has the nation's highest survival rate for heart attack patients. Data released from the Federal Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services show that Intermountain Medical Center, along with the Mayo Clinic in Minnesota and NYU Langone Hospital, have the highest 30-day survival rate in the nation for heart attack patients hospitalized for care. To assess hospital patient survival rates, CMS collected provider-level data on complication measures, reviewed patient safety indicators, and analyzed 30-day death rates for hospitals across the nation. We're really proud of this achievement, said Dr. Ken Meredith, an interventional cardiologist at Intermountain Medical Center. CMS is a government agency that tracks healthcare outcomes, so it's free of the biases that can be seen by other reports from internal data. This data shows very directly that patients who are treated at Intermountain Medical Center have the highest percentage of surviving after a heart attack compared to all other hospitals in the United States. Intermountain cardiologists credit a multidisciplinary approach and rapid treatment protocol for success in treating heart attack patients. This includes close coordination with first responders in the community, emergency department personnel, and other key medical providers who are mobilized to treat patients suspected of suffering a heart attack. Cardiologists say time is critical to survival for heart attack patients. Awareness of symptoms by patients, bystanders, first responders, hospital emergency department staff, and a dedicated and experienced heart attack treatment team at the hospital is key. I'm Dr. Tamara Sheffield with Intermountain Health on KSL News Radio.
15 years ago, we were adding on to our home, and so I convinced Sean we should update the kitchen.
We did some research, and we decided to go with 3-day kitchen and bath. Their reputation was phenomenal. To design, do the construction, and the finish work, what we wanted was what we got from start to finish. So fast forward 15 years, our family's changed. We've gotten bigger.
There just wasn't the space in the kitchen anymore. People were banging into each other.
We decided 3-day kitchen and bath. Here's the problem. What are our solutions? Comparing working with 3-day kitchen and bath 15 years ago, today, their ability to design what you want was the same.
Everything has been what I want.
The quality of 3-day kitchen and bath, I think, is phenomenal. The countertops and the cabinets that they use are great. They were just good guys doing good work.
For more about your new kitchen or bath, visit 3daykitchen.com.
3-day kitchen and bath.
Hi, this is Doug Wright. Over the years, I've talked a lot about hard water. Takes years off the life of water heaters and other appliances in your home. Leaves scum on the shower walls, and you almost need a jackhammer to remove that. I've talked about how Connecticut of Utah, an authorized Connecticut dealer, their water softeners are maintenance-free. You just don't need adjustment, and they do the job with 2/3 less salt than other softeners. But today, I want to talk about the exhilarating feeling of stepping into a hot bath or shower and feeling that pure, soft water cascade over your skin. It feels like every pore in your body wants to stand up and start singing. And afterward, there are no itchy hard water deposits sticking all over you. You really should look into a soft water system from Connecticut of Utah, an authorized Connecticut dealer. You can learn more about Connecticut by giving them a call at 801-576-8600 or log on to Softwater Utah. Connecticut of Utah, an authorized Connecticut dealer. Then sit back and enjoy your shower even more.
We're watching Utah's Money, brought to you by Utah First Credit Union. On Wall Street today, the Dow was down 79 points. It closed at 36,124. The S&P was down 2 points, while the NASDAQ was up 44. KSL News Time, 5:56. Time for Cougar Tracks now. Here's KSL Sports BYU insider Mitch Harper.
BYU basketball is off to the best start to a season since Jimmer Fredette was playing in the blue and white. The Cougars are 7-0 to open a season for the first time since 2010. They've climbed up to number 14 in the latest AP Top 25 poll. BYU head coach Mark Pope says this group already has an elite trait.
The best thing we have going right now is our guys' communication is elite. And that's a credit to our assistant coaches, our staff, about how they've been working practice and how they've been, and to our guys about embracing that. But our real-time communication is pretty special right now.
BYU looks to maintain its perfect record tonight against the Evansville Aces at the Marriott Center. Tip-off is at 7 p.m. with pregame coverage starting at 6, right here on KSL and the KSL News Radio app. With Cougar Tracks, I'm Mitch Harper on your legacy home of the BYU Cougars, KSL News Radio.
Everything's changing so fast these days, and that's a great thing. Back in my day, we were lucky if we could get a video to load on a desktop computer, but now there's the Xfinity 10G network. That means the fastest internet with faster speeds rolling out all the time, and internet that can power a house full of devices at once with ultra-low lag. So while one person streams a movie from their room, another can play video games in the basement, while another TikToks in the kitchen. It's the next generation 10G network, only from Xfinity. The future starts now through December 21st. New customers can get 1.2 gigabit internet with Wi-Fi equipment included. It's all just $25 a month for 2 years with no annual contract when you add Xfinity Mobile with unlimited data at regular rates. Go to xfinity.com/10G, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit a store today. Requires paperless billing and auto pay with stored bank account. Restrictions apply. Taxes and fees extra. Xfinity Mobile requires Xfinity Internet. After promo, regular rates apply to internet service and Wi-Fi equipment. Actual speeds vary. The next generation 10G network only from Xfinity.
Advanced window products from their factory to your front door in 8 weeks. Affordable windows guaranteed. 801-850-9100 or advancedwindowsusa.com.
Come on, the meeting's already started.
Sometimes it's important.
Last call, boarding gate number 9.
Sometimes it's urgent.
Trip for Aurora.
Sometimes it's vital. Hospital treatment within 1 hour of a stroke can prevent lifelong disability. If you notice someone experiencing sudden weakness on one side or having a problem speaking, walking, or seeing, call 911 fast. Stroke. Know the signs. Act in time. A message from the National Institute of Neurological Disorders and Stroke.
Traffic and weather together every 10 minutes were brought to you by Granite Credit Union's new Dividend Plus checking account. Ricky, what's up?
No relief for drivers southbound I-15 with delays that start as you're approaching the I-80-201 junction, but most of it goes from just before 4500 south through Bluffdale, westbound on the 201, a patch of slowing from I-15 to the West Belt, and again at 5600 west. Mark?
It's been very heavy and still is, I'm afraid, southbound I-15 at extra KSL travel time between Lehigh 2100 North and where the delays finally start to clear after Geneva Road. And you got some northbound delays too. Orem headed up to Pleasant Grove. Steve.
Lingering delays right now, northbound 15 from downtown Salt Lake into North Salt Lake and Clearfield up to Roy. And a KSL texter says, watch out for a bad wreck at the intersection of SR 193 and University Park Boulevard in Clearfield tonight. And slowdowns on southbound 89 persist from Harrison Boulevard to I-84. Enjoy Utah's beautiful snow and whole family fun with winter tubing at Soldier Hollow and Midway. Experience longer tubing lanes, shorter lines, and more fun. Book your session now at UtahOlympicLegacy.org. Steve Carlson in the KSL Traffic Center.
So we head down to the freezing mark overnight. Sunshine and smog. Tomorrow, the high 52. KSL quarters for Christmas time, $5.59.
KSL FM Midvale.
KSL Salt Lake City.
Listen at home on any smart speaker.
And in your car at 102.7 FM.
This is KSL News Radio.
Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
The following is a presentation of the new skin, BYU Sports Network. BYU Cougars basketball is on the air.
No look behind the back to Robinson for three, and that goes! Jackson Robinson!
This is Cougar Pregame Live, brought to you by Mountain America, the official credit union of BYU Athletics. To get you ready for BYU versus Evansville, here's your host, Jason Shepard.
Good evening, BYU basketball fans. Welcome into Cougar Pregame Live, presented by Mountain America, the official credit union of BYU Athletics. Tonight, the BYU Cougars return to the Marriott Center for a matchup with the Purple Aces of Evansville. Well, BYU begins play tonight at 7-0 and up 5 spots in the latest AP poll. They come in this week at number 14. The Cougars, by the way, are one of 6 schools from the Big 12 to be ranked in the AP poll, and in case you were wondering, they're 13th in the coaches poll. Now, the Cougars' last victory came on Friday night in Salt Lake City when they beat Fresno State at the Delta Center 85-56. It was a dominating performance led by Jackson Robinson, who finished with a career-high 24 points and hit 6 of 8 from 3. Robinson is shooting a scorching 51.6 from the field and 60% from deep. Can't forget about Spencer Johnson, who also scored a career high, finishing with 22. It really was a complete victory for the Cougars, who only committed 7 turnovers and forced 21. This has been such a good team in terms of not turning the ball over. That's something we'll talk to Mark Durant about coming up in our next segment. That brings up tonight's game against Evansville. The Purple Aces, no slouch. They're 7-1 and scoring almost 86 points per game while shooting